And we're recording.
And we're recording.
All right. Hey, guys.
Hey,
Oh, hi. Didn't see you there.
Holy fuck. So random.
It's the
popped
first
in
time
here.
I was to say I don't have to do an intro. This is kind of nice.
There's no intros. No intros.
He wasn't kidding.
Yeah, we might do intros one day, but
No,
yeah, not.
It's so awkward, man.
We're not-
it is.
so awkward.
It
They
is,
want to
man.
sell out.
Yeah. Sorry, we did.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? That's the problem though. Is we started with an intro and now you can't go back. Right?
This is
We're-
true.
No,
We like.
Yeah.
we don't want to let down all the viewers.
Don't take it away from us.
They've come to expect so much. So
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Thanks, guys, for
Yeah.
coming on, and we're
problem.
stoked to chat again. It's been a while.
Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
We really enjoyed the
first
time.
guests. You guys had to be our first guests. You guys had us on your
Yeah.
podcast, and that was the first time we'd ever done one. So we got to return
It was our first guest as well. You guys
Yeah.
Well, we were your
Appreciate
first
it.
guest.
Yeah, you
Oh,
were.
I guess
Shit, there you go.
Yeah.
Off the cherry,
Well,
man.
then we were kind of obligated to do this then.
Yes,
yeah.
in a
It's
way.
like the best man at a wedding. We're like,
That's
fuck.
right.
Well, okay, I guess you'll be in mine then.
Yeah.
That was, you know what?
That's-
That literally happened to me. Where
Really?
oh yeah, childhood friend of mine. I had him be the best man at my wedding, and the way he approached me about it was like for his wedding was like, so you're obviously my best man, and I'm like, I am. He's like, well, I went to yours. And I'm like,
I went to yours.
thanks.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's you feel flattered. You're like, fuck, awesome.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
so much to me.
my best man ended up moving to Montreal. I think that's how close we are now.
That's what he told you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, okay, was that before your wedding or
No. It was after. It was after. He lived like his. Well, I'm assuming they're married now. I could be wrong. I'm assuming they're still together. But anyways, if he's listening, hey, reach out.
Yeah.
Hey.
we actually are writing a song called Best Man because
Yeah.
my best man, like 4 months after the wedding, I never talked to me again. He met a girl and he moved just outside the city, and I haven't spoken.
So
to
not
him.
far.
No, he's close. But what happened was, and he fucking sees us. He sees us. He was engaged to a girl, and they split up right before my wedding. And then it was after my wedding, he started dating a girl right away, and she moved in right away. And he didn't say anything to anybody because he's one of those guys who didn't want to have conflict. So he's like, if I tell him, he's gonna be upset. So what in his mind, he just ignored the whole thing and just moved away and didn't tell anyone. Like he's just gone.
Wow.
So no one knows to even talk to him. I still haven't spoken to him. And we're gonna write a song about it. We have a song on
That's
the
right.
go.
So are you not right in London?
We are right in London. No,
Oh,
we
okay.
are.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
moved east though, like just past Kamoka, like Kilworth,
Oh, okay.
some shit like that, like out that way. And I found out from someone else that he moved out, like out there. So I was like,
Wow.
okay. And so we haven't talked since. Like I think my wedding was one of the last times, which is like fucking unreal. Yeah. So it's just it's like a curse. I don't know, man. I don't know. Is it me? I don't know.
I'm in the same boat, man. I don't talk to mine.
Yeah.
I'd say we hung out shortly after, even maybe a year after he came by once. I think maybe, but maybe
That's like my wife's maid of honor. They don't really. I
no,
don't think
that's
they,
true
They
too.
talk,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
but
Fucking weird, eh?
it is
Yeah.
weird,
I
man.
know.
People are weird.
My best man been my best friend since kindergarten. We're still best friends, and
That's good though.
my wife's maid of honor
Hold
is
on
still
to
her
that.
best friend.
Hold
Hold
on
on to that in your heart.
Yeah.
He
Um,
actually, and he lives in London. He's
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, he's actually he's a good reason for a lot of your streams. He listens
Oh.
to you guys.
Oh yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
give him our fucking best
Th-
regards.
that's super nice, James. Tell these guys, yeah. So the only reason why you have streams is because my friend. It's just him.
I didn't
Yeah.
say the
No one
only
else.
reason.
I was actually also
we
on your
also
pod-
listen to you.
Yeah.
I think James, you said that too on your podcast. You're like, oh, also for one of the stream, I think for Who's Only Now when you guys were chatting about it, and I think Jason, you're like, whoa, like easy. I'm sure it's not all of them or something. It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Dying.
No,
It actually might have been, and we like
It's quite possible.
that
very possible.
you know, speaking of that, I've when I've gone to your guys' Spotify page, I've noticed you guys are like in the 2000s for your two singles, like
Yeah.
for streams. That's
but
awesome.
Don't look at anything else.
yeah.
That's the same with us though. That's the same with
Yeah,
us.
we're the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking
It's-
about that on our podcast. We can't find out how to get people to listen past that single.
It
What
takes
was our-
time. See,
Yeah.
we can't engage in the typical fashion that we were all used to doing probably back in the day, and that's go out and play shows.
Right.
and and get people engaged that way. I mean, we're literally doing all of this through social media and just word of mouth. So I don't think there's anything wrong. Like the fact that, you guys have pushed a couple songs over 2,000. I think we've got 3 songs that pushed over 1,000. Like,
Yep.
I'm super stoked for all of that. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
no.
and you guys are so far ahead. Like we released our first EP in, when was it? 2019?
Our first one, yeah, it was in March of
Like in-
2019.
Yeah, I think one song on that just crossed over 700 streams. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
you guys with your 'cause when did you guys start? I know that we already talked about this, but I
No.
My
can't remember.
birthday was the first single. January 22nd was the first
Yeah, it was
single.
the first
Yeah,
single,
so you guys are
Yeah.
like killing it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, it's tough. So it's tough because we always feel like every high we have, we kind of feel like it's not sustained. And I think what I talked about, Nate, in the last podcast, I said we're like a fucking new restaurant that we're not getting the return customers. Like they're coming out and they're like, hey, and then I don't know if they're coming back. And so we talked about how we're going to market the album and all this shit, and the EP thing we thought would be the best way. It turned out probably wasn't, because as you said, like our singles are like getting played, then it just drops right off. And we put some good songs on the EPs, we felt, and now we feel like fuck, they're gonna be like just I mean, we're releasing the whole album, all those songs will be on the album, but like we don't know, like we don't have that I'm gonna check these guys out and then listen to this 5-track EP, take the 20 minutes to do it. It's unfortunately
The unfortunate thing is there's a lot of things to take into consideration when your streams go down, and it's like it's timing. There's other bands out there like that are on a more mainstream level that maybe your listeners are also into, then all of a sudden your attention shifts, like their attention shifts
Shifts
to
somewhere
that.
else.
And then
Yeah.
there's just other things, right? Like we're all in the same boat here in Ontario. We're all going through another lockdown.
Holy fuck.
So like all people have time to do these days is listen to music. So it's not just going to be us. It's not just going to be you guys, right? It's going to be like their whole listening interest, right? And then sometimes
Yeah.
things get forgotten.
yeah.
It's just the way it works. It goes up and down, and
There's-
then you
I find releasing a single is like a I don't even know how to say it. Like when we released Dead of Sin, that was our first single that we released, and now it's like our top song. It did very well.
Yeah.
But I find if you do a single and then you release it with with an EP, people are still like hung up on the single.
It's true.
That's what it
Yeah.
seems. So it's almost like if you're going to do a single and that's it. That's just kind of what's going through my head for us. I can't speak for everybody, obviously, but
Mhm.
for us, it's like, wow. Because even our cover of
The Pink, like who
Pink.
knew?
yeah, like it started off very well and it dropped off quick,
Really?
like
eh?
quicker than I
Yeah.
thought it would. I mean, it's still getting plays every day,
Yeah.
but like
still consistent. It's not doing those wow numbers that got us in that first week. We're like, oh my
and,
god.
and
Yeah.
I was telling I was telling James this there. I guess it was a week or two ago where I said, okay, well, like, what's next? Like, now what are we gonna do? Because people are already getting kind of over this already. And he was like, dude, we're it's doing good. Don't be so
Don't give up on it yet.
yeah, like don't be so negative about it. I'm like, I'm not being negative, but I just remember like the MySpace days. Like
Mm.
I played in bands like basically since 14, 15 years old, and like deathcore bands that like just your scene kids would show up at, like the local hall and everyone's mosh pitting and beating the fuck out of each other in the pit and stuff like that kind of music. And we would release a song and it did 1,000 plays in a weekend.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But to James's point, that he ended up mentioning was, people shared the fuck out of music back then.
It's true.
It was so
Mhm.
much like,
Word of
know,
mouth, man.
yeah, it
mouth,
was
yeah.
so crazy. And then plus
That
the
word of
shows
mouth-
too, right?
That
And
word of
plus
mouth
you're-
was different too, though, right? Because
It
it was younger people. It was teenagers, early
Yeah.
20s. I think they still do that. But when you look at the bands that are considered like scene nowadays, I mean, you've got like Motionless in White, you've got Pele Royale, like stuff like that, and like their fans are insane. Like that's all they do all day
Mhm.
long is just like post stuff about them. They get tattoos about them. They draw pictures of them, all that kind of stuff. And
Dude, I have a
that's
I have a Slipknot tattoo, man. I get it.
well, you know what I
Like
mean, right? So like
100%.
back in the day, that's how you did it when you were that age.
Yeah.
We're all playing for a much different demographic.
And a lot of them already have their set of what they listen to. Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think that either one of us, like for our end and your end, because we're in slightly different wheelhouses in terms of rock music.
For sure.
But like whoever's world we breach with our music, and then that becomes like a part of their thing, like a part of their everyday listening experience, that's a win. You know what I mean? I mean, I'd love to have, a million 18-year-olds like digging our music and stuff, and maybe that'll happen one day. Same for you guys. But
Yeah.
for now, I think it's just going to be I think it's a slow build. You guys are releasing quality material. Your songs are so damn good.
And let's talk about that new cover that that you just
Torn.
released.
Solid
It's-
choice.
It's
Thank
so
you.
funny though, because Jason and I were chatting about it, and he was like, "Oh, because we talked about driver's license before, right? We were
Mhm.
chit chatting before and saying that was going to be the one that we were going to try."
Yeah.
And I was like, vocally, I was like, "I can't do this. I
I
can't." Like, and you know what? We're having the issue. We'll talk about Torn too, but is trying to find a cover, especially in the '90s. Who do you cover?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Do you
there's so many
cover
choices.
for
Yeah.
sure? But then for us to make it sound like us. So for you guys, we were talking about like Andrew and I were talking about your Who Knew. We were like, you guys are in the perfect space to be able to almost cover any song other than a metal song, right? Like you said,
Yeah.
because you guys even said with Home, right?
Yeah.
Was that you did a straight cover of it, whereas with Who Knew, like I fucking loved it, right?
Thank you,
so
man.
That's
It's
dope.
one of those things,
Thanks.
right, where you have that, you're in that genre, which is completely a polar opposite of what you did. But I feel like you guys could fucking go off on all kinds. And then the Call of the Void, I don't know if have you seen them on Twitter and that?
Oh yeah. No,
They
we're
just
there.
did-
They support us pretty good too.
Yeah, they've been awesome. They just
Yeah.
did the Miley Cyrus.
I listened to it the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to kind of see us all kind of go around that.
We're all
cover
covering at the
adventure.
same time, and it's all like female-led vocals that we're all taking on. It's great. It's cool.
It's called
Yeah.
gender bending.
Yes,
and
there it is.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
There it is.
awesome.
yeah.
As soon as you can take anything and make it sound unlike what it was in its original form, that's
Yeah.
I think that's the purest form of a cover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you said, like Jay and I are in a really good position because of the style of music we play. We can pretty much pick any pop song, and
Yeah.
it's now become our own because it's not going
Right.
to sound like the pop song.
At all,
Um,
yeah.
Same with
Yeah.
you guys. Like you guys take a pop song and
Right.
you apply it to that 90s alternative feel or whatever. It's going to sound like a 90s alternative song, not a pop song.
Yeah,
Right.
I was gonna say, you guys did the very same with your cover that you automatically know what song it is, right?
Right.
But it sounds like you guys, that's the
Yeah.
goal, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is funny when you say you automatically know what song it was, because I had to get this in here when you guys put out that little teaser a little while
yeah,
ago.
Yeah.
And
You
you were
fucked it.
well, I remember at first, like the first thing you did, and this was really cool. You were like, "Does anybody have any guesses?" And I forget what my exact wording was, but I was like, I don't know, like Our Lady Peace.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, Our Lady Peace
Fuck.
tweets out with those like little shifty eyes, like what's
Yeah.
going on?
I
here,
know. I
guys?"
love that. I love that. And
And
you know
honestly,
what?
I didn't think that was real. I didn't think that was
Yeah, I
legitimate.
told
was like,
you.
"There's
I
no
was
I
like,
fucking
double
way."
checked it. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
It was
Like,
fucking
yeah.
real. And then we
Yeah.
thought, fuck, let's cover Our Lady Peace song. We have this attention,
Right?
And
Just
and I
fanboying right out. It's all
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. But
I
the
was
problem with-
I love fucking Our Lady Peace growing up.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
a huge fan. Huge
yeah,
fan.
they're really dope. They're dope. But yeah, so we don't know if you should cover like a alternative song because like the thing is, everyone's like, you guys sound like 90s alternative, and then we take a 90s alternative song and cover it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd be too.
It could work in your favor too, though, because I mean, the fact that you're a band in 2021 that has that kind of vibe from back then,
True.
it almost makes sense to cover something from that era, right?
Yeah.
Where really, truth be told, most bands that are the same, like that fall into the same genre as James and I'm noticing that most of the bands that do covers do what basically we just did, right? Like James has mentioned it before. There's a band called I Prevail, and they did
Mhm.
what was it, a Taylor
Space.
Swift cover?
Yeah, Blank Space.
Right.
Oh,
So
yeah, I
it's
heard
just kind of the same thing, right? It's just turning pop into metal, and it's actually quite simple because you know, the music, or at least the chord progressions are quite simple from the pop side of things, right? So
Right.
it just works out. I find what, you know, for you guys, it makes it a little more unique, which is ironic because your sound is the sound that you're covering,
Back then,
It's
yeah.
true. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you're still able to you know, cut through with your own sound, and you can still tell it was you. So I think that's
And
pretty cool.
what really helps you out too is because you did the whole gender bending thing. You know, I think it would have had less of a dynamic. I remember I mentioned this the first time we talked about how much Nathan, you sound like Matt Good.
Yeah.
That was the first place I went, first thing I thought of, and my buddy out in London who also listens to you like thought the exact same thing right away. And we were both like Matt Good fans, you know, growing up in that era. So that was a really cool compliment coming from him. If you had done like a Matt Good song, it would have been good. It
Yeah.
would have been Matt Good.
Ooh.
Right.
Ooh, we went there right
You're
away.
such
What
a dad.
we're
I
10
know.
Minutes, 10 minutes in. 10 minutes in.
Hashtag dad
All our
jokes.
dad jokes.
Um,
Whole podcast on that.
But it would have had less of a dynamic because it would have been
Mhm.
just like, hey man, here's like a really good like Matt Good doppelganger, like singing the best karaoke version he can
That's
do.
right.
So
Yeah,
you know
And
what?
it would have turned out the same way as our 3 Days Grace song, really.
Yeah.
So
Like,
something I
point.
something I want to throw out there, like the more that I listen to you guys, the more I hear the Matt Good thing now. I first I'm not lying. Like I first heard Gord Downey in your voice, man.
That was Andrew's wife, right? Isn't that
Yeah.
what you said?
Yeah, it was
Kirsten said
my turn. Said my turn's very
Yeah.
yeah.
and I admit
Yeah.
that's a huge compliment.
Never
Obviously,
even
to
It's
thought of that.
awesome.
That's
It's
so
awesome,
true.
man. And
from someone who hates their fucking voice on recordings. I mean, I'm getting used to it. I'm getting more and more like accepting of it. And I don't know about you, James, but man, it was hard. Like I'd say to Andrew, like the first 3 songs I did, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. You're gonna
You know
have to
what?
keep me, you're gonna sell this to me, right?
Who's Lonely Now is, I know I basically sucked both of you off on our first
No, that's
podcast, but
It's still sore. It's still sore.
but the yeah, honestly, man, I'm stuck on that song, man. I'm
Yeah,
a sucker
appreciate it.
I am
for
too. I'm not gonna lie.
catchy progressions and stuff. And
Thanks, guys. That's your last podcast. First and foremost, that was awesome. Thanks so much. I was like, didn't expect
No.
you guys to even say, and you guys went on like a 7-minute rant. It was awesome. It was so cool to be like, you know, it was cool. So I was like, that's awesome. Thanks for that. That's great.
oh, no worries, man.
So it was
We mean it.
so nice. It was like so late when I was watching that thing too, and it was near the end of that, right? So I was like, holy fuck, I got to text Nate. I don't think Nate was awake. I was like,
I don't think I
"Fuck,
was, no.
man. Fuck, what are you doing? I
No,
was like,
I
yeah.
wasn't. I listened to
Yeah.
it in the morning. Yeah.
Well,
He's like,
bet-
guys.
Getting back to what you were saying, Nathan, about getting comfortable singing, like, yeah, I am now, but I can remember those jitters in the beginning. My first time ever singing in front of a crowd was like, was at a karaoke thing, and I was singing the Eagles. And I remember starting.
did you get sued?
More on that later.
Next up was Metallica, and
Yeah.
then,
Yeah, I got sued for that. No, I started before you know how like karaoke, like the word, like it starts showing you when to start singing.
yeah.
Like I was singing Desperado, and I knew the song. I knew the song really well. And then the piano starts going, and then I just started singing, and like people are looking at me like, well, that was an odd choice. And then the words start, and I'm like, shit.
Oh, fuck.
And it's like it's too late now, right? So they just kind of like segued my way back into it.
That's
but
hilarious.
It's hard because singing in front of people is one thing, because you know you're hearing yourself, but you're just hearing your regular voice. When you
Right.
hear yourself back on like a recording, way different.
It's the
way
worst.
different. It
is the
absolute
worst.
It's the worst. I
I
did
wanted
it.
to crawl under a friggin' desk and under the desk and die the first time I ever recorded my voice.
Yeah.
James is the reason, like, or sorry, how do I say that? Yeah, no, James is my singer because I recorded myself once, and I was like,
Nope.
This isn't happening.
I was like, nope, don't like that.
What he meant to say was because I'm awesome.
That's
Thanks,
right.
guys.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
you are awesome, but I'm just saying
Thanks.
I'm really bad.
You're the reason I
Um,
drink.
Like, you know, like there's people that can sing, but they sound really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's
No,
me.
I-
One thing I meant or I wanted to kind of ask you guys when we were on your podcast, take me through, like, if you don't mind, like the software that you guys use to record it, and do you track guitars together in the same spot, or do you guys do it remotely? Like, how do you guys do that?
It's so we when we first started recording, it started with cell phones of just like videos back and forth, and then we actually a buddy of mine was going to drum for us.
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, I'll drum for you guys, but you guys gotta get audio interfaces. You gotta get shit to like record on, and then we can just send our stems back and forth." They were like, "Cool." So Nate went right away and got his. I ordered mine, and then I had it for like 2 months. I didn't do fucking anything, and he was like sending me shit, and I just sent my cell phone shit. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I can't fix my latency on this fucking thing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like, fuck it. It's summertime. I'm just a drink." But when we got going, we just got Reaper because we were like, my buddy was like, "Hey, just get Reaper to start off," and we my buddy who plays drums eventually just stopped responding to us, so we just so we just went off and we sent ideas of this drum. So it's on Reaper. The whole thing's on Reaper.
Nice.
Still, we still use. I mean, I'm sure I have software for all kinds of shit. Everything I buy comes with software, and
I use Reaper, man. That's what.
Oh,
that's what I use. Yep. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So yeah, we're used to it. I don't feel a need to change.
Yeah, I came from the Pro Tools world.
Pro Tools.
And I went to Reaper, man. Yeah.
What was the reason to switch for you?
Yeah.
Pro Tools ended up being subscription based, which
Yeah.
I don't like. Reaper is $60 for the full version, and you get like 3 full free updates where with Pro Tools, it's like, yeah, you get free updates if you want to call it free, but you're paying a subscription every month.
Right.
And the problem on top of that is a lot of plugins are subscription based too. Like Slate Digital and all that stuff. Now I have a lot of Slate stuff pre-subscription era. So I'm not paying monthly for all this stuff, right? But what do you guys use for drums?
MT, what the fuck is it called? I'm so stupid. MT drum. Give me 1 second. Let me pop it up. It was funny because originally on Fix Me, I programmed the drums on pads. Because I didn't at the time trust, the grooves are built in, and I was like, I want to control the drum. So for Fix Me, it was kind of me saying like boom, 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 boom. It was fucking dope at the time. I thought it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got more like into drum pads, but then I use them a lot less, which is interesting. But yeah, so the drum is MT Power Drum Kit.
Okay.
MT Power Drum Kit. Yeah, and it's it was one of the first things Nate actually told me about. He was like, "Hey,
yeah, it was one of the free ones." Yeah.
Yeah, and
there's another one of my buddies. He's big into recording. Hasn't really done a whole lot yet, but I'm hoping he does soon. He's got fucking all the gear in the world. Blows our shit out of the water right now. But I forget which drum one he bought one. It wasn't much either. I want to say it was like $80 or something like that.
Yeah, there's lots out there, man.
Out there,
yeah. So you guys like, do you guys mic your amps? Are you DI? Like how?
Yeah, so I go direct, like I just go direct in, and then I usually record dry and then throw on my effects afterwards normally.
Okay.
Actually we'll talk to you guys later about it, but we did an acoustic track, and that's the first one I've ever mic'd up.
Nice.
Because I have one electric acoustic.
It's not the same, man. It's not the same.
Hey, Nova from Sears, LS Sears from
hey, fucking A, dude.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so that thing is like dead. It like intonation shit on it. So anyways, I ended up just grabbing the Epiphone Texan last week to plug in, but I still love just miking it up.
I was never happy. I never found myself happy plugging in an acoustic ever.
Yeah.
Now you get into some Taylors and stuff like that. Maybe I've never owned an expensive acoustic guitar, dude. Like I'm not a guitar player by any means, right? Like acoustic guitar. It's like it's death,
boring,
man. It's
yeah.
horrible for me.
Yeah,
I love it. I wish I was good, but
the only reason I grabbed this Epiphone was in case Andrew and I were playing anywhere gigging and then had to plug in, right? Rather than being mic'd up. But
before we get back to the recording process, I just want to make mention this summer, I really want to do like a live from the living room thing.
You guys were talking about doing one in May, right? Early
Yeah.
on, but I mean, hey, with everything that's going
Damn
around
you
here,
and your memory.
hey,
Yeah.
well,
No, you
I
know
kind of.
what?
Yeah.
It's
It's not going to go down like
It's not
that.
going to go down. We already know. Even like all the four of us are in Ontario. We know exactly what the fuck's going on. It's not
Yeah.
happening. There's
Yeah.
no way.
Oh,
We've just been fucked out of so much opportunity to practice and play,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you guys were just about to like kind of get in there, and well, you did the cover of Who Knew, and then you guys got locked out.
we just squeaked that in
You
there.
just
Really.
squeaked that in, and then I actually, it's funny you say that because we'll go back to the recording thing. But Andrew and I was like, oh shit, maybe we can finally get together, because it kind of goes back to the recording thing. It's all remote. We've done everything remotely to record everything we've done. We can't like physically get. I'm in a like my dad's 92, so he's high risk. Obviously, he hasn't been able to get a shot yet, just based on his circumstance, but even for me, the work environment that I'm in, I have so many fucking contacts. I have 2 kids, so they're
Yeah.
in contact with a shit ton of people. So it just wasn't, smart. Let's put it that way. To try and get in the same room and
Makes
step
sense.
away, right, and rehearse or whatnot. But then, of course, then shut the doors again, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
You know
Our-
what? I mean,
Our meetings were very few and far between. We had very small windows to get it done. We took advantage of it when we did.
Mhm.
But
the
yeah,
timing just worked. The
yeah,
timing
it's just
worked.
luckily it really like sheer luck. There's nothing else you can call it, right?
What
what's going
is-
on?
What is this happening?
Did you see
It's all
that?
good. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
weird, eh?
Is it
says-
gone?
It said upgrade. Yeah, it says
gone.
upgraded. We're good to go.
The
Oh.
upgrade gods have bestowed
Yeah,
a gift upon
yeah.
us.
Well,
I don't think.
whatever.
You know, it's funny. No one will see that when they watch this. It's just, they
But-
just people are like, what the fuck?
But, like everybody
Like-
just went weird there for
Yeah,
a minute.
Yeah.
What are they looking at? We're like, what
Did
does
you
that
just
mean?
see a ghost?
Yeah. Wow. So what
So,
we're talking about? I'm so confused.
so
the
you
fuck did
guys,
Canada?
okay. So when you guys write a song,
Yeah.
you write like, do you write the guitar and then send it over and then finish it and then send it back and then you put vocals onto it, or is it different every time? Or
I'd say it's different right every time, Andrew. Like it depends. There's been a couple ones that I've written right from the start. I've even put drums to it, and then Andrew's added bass, and then it's been done. I think there's only one realistically that's been not touched, where I just put in grooves just because I was playing along, and I said to Andrew, "Hey, put your drum touch in and do that." But he's like, "No, fuck, I'm leaving it." I don't even know what song was that. Do you
My
remember?
turn.
Was that my turn? Okay, I thought
Yeah.
it was.
I think
That's
the
the
drum
problem.
just
I have
loops the whole time.
it's a cool
right?
guitar riff, man. In
Yeah.
that song.
So that's
Fucking cool, man.
So then that's it. And then usually though, Andrew usually gives me a bass and drums, and then I take it from there, go guitar. What I love is that Andrew sometimes he'll give me a song title and nothing with it, just a song title with that, and then I'll base my kind of song off of that. I have
That's
an
pretty
idea
cool.
of going through, yeah, which is worked well. Or with Best Man, like he gave me the song title and then told me, well, I knew what happened, right? I knew the story. We were at their wedding, so I was able to kind of add in some things from that as well, tie into that. But it's interesting writing that way. But I love it. And then sometimes like Andrew will give me an idea of the song that he has in mind. Actually, the one for Best Man, I've combined 2 songs. He wrote the drums and bass for one, called it Best Man. I'm like, dude, it's not going to work. I need to go back to this other one that you sent me
Right.
and then reworked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll throw the guitar on top or try and fit a guitar piece that I have recorded, somewhere stashed away, and then see, does it fit here? Does it fit there?
Right.
Yeah. And for me, for guitar, I just start layering shit on, if depending on what I feel like, what it needs.
Right.
No rhyme or reason.
So do you do the majority of the lyrics, Nathan, or
Yeah, I think
All of
Andrew, the
them.
only one,
all of them?
Yeah.
The only one was Fix Me, which I know we touched on before, but that was Andrew had already written the lyrics to that, gave them to me, and I
So-
sang it back.
They're
I
fucking
sang it
shit.
back to him, and he was like, "Dude, that's terrible."
So
He was
best
like, "Not
best,
you." bro."
best man is going to be pretty self-explanatory, but
Yeah.
your other songs, like how much of them, ballpark, like is it all based on personal experience? Do you just pull stuff out of the air? Like where do you get your inspiration?
He's trying to
for your
ask you, like,
lyrics?
do your songs mean anything, or are you just
it's a good
talking shit?
question.
We're fucking talking shit. No, that's why the album is called Stories of Others, because we wrote it. We all the songs were kind of like some sort of like part of love that either it's fucking gone terrible, how you feel about it, this and that and this, and the stories of others. We named that because it was like we're both married dudes. We both we don't in our lives currently have any sort of distress when it comes to love. So we just took situations of like other people, other stories, things that like we went maybe through the past and shit. And then, so the album is that's why we call it the stories of others. So it's
Right.
someone hears it and go like, this happened to him. It's like, well, it's a story of someone else or another part of life
Someone
or
that's
whatever.
close to
Right,
us.
Yeah.
That's really
So-
cool.
So it's
Yeah.
real shit. It's not like you're not
It's not just made up.
trying
no.
to tell a good story type idea. It's like it's actual, maybe it's not your personal experience, but it's your take on someone else's personal experience.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Cool.
hands down.
That's
Now,
cool.
what's funny though, it's a great question though, because I'd say that the next few songs that we've done, they are very much personal.
Yeah, I was yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Good.
best man,
Yeah.
right?
Seem-
Obviously.
but yeah, obviously, yeah. And then what was Still Waiting? I haven't told Andrew what it's about yet, but we'll
Yeah.
get there eventually one day.
And
But-
I think, and this, I might be talking out of my ass here,
I
but
know.
those might be the best things you guys are about to write then, because I just, this is just my own personal experience. I almost, well, not almost, I guess I always write about like something personal. And it's just, again, it's more passionate that way.
Mhm.
You don't find yourself reaching to write a good line, because you just need a good line. I mean, everything just seems to fall into place when you're trying to tell an actual story that you're passionate about. So the more personal you can get, the better that's going to translate onto paper. And not to mention when you're singing it, like when you're singing those words, you know what they mean.
Yeah.
It's just there's more passion in your voice. It's going to sound that much better, I think.
No,
Yeah,
I
100%.
agree on that. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. So we're excited. We're excited about that. Like the problem is like we're at a point where we're still kind of holding back on the first album, and I'm so stoked for the newer stuff, because the newer stuff I think is like more, it's not only like mixed better and like the sound is better, like it's more used to doing it by this point. But I think the songs, like the quality of song is going to be a lot better. Not that their first stuff are shit. It's just that like we're getting into the sound of Chasing Records at this point. We're like
Yeah.
we're getting used to, this is kind of our sound, but doesn't hold us back to just being like this one kind of sound. Like I wrote like a pop punk song the other
Yeah,
day. I
the other
sent
day,
Nate, and
yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
this
nice.
fucking song was in my head, and I just wrote it and sent it to him. And so I don't think we stick to, but like we're used to like making like the Chasing Records sound. Like I think Jay was saying about you guys, it sounds like your song with Torn and shit. And I think that we're getting more accustomed to, this sounds like us. It sounds like our
Yes.
band. Like someone hears that, it's like, it sound like us. So I'm excited for the new stuff. Especially with all the personal stuff, and like I'll write a song and it gives me a feeling, and like I don't remember what song it was, but I wrote a song that gave me a feeling of kind of like a despair but hope, and I was like, what can I relate that to in my life right now? And again, this is like again, I guess it's a story of someone else, but a friend of mine had cancer, and she got through it, and I remember like when she got it to when she was like, hey, it's they think it's gone. And that song reminded me of it. It was like such a like sad song, but like by the time it's the end, it's like there's almost like a hint of hopefulness in it.
Nice.
And that's when I said today, I'm like, this is what the song should be about. Like it's like I remember when she first told me in person to now, like it was like within like 8 months or some shit.
Mhm.
So yeah, so it's just like I'm looking forward to it. But then I think we're like this first album is kind of just like it's just sitting there. And it's so hard what to do next, as we just talked about earlier, like the singles are the way to go, and we're sitting on 4 more songs for the full
At
album,
least, yeah.
and it's we don't know how to drop it. Like we don't want to be dropped and then the album's over and then we look at our streams and like 2 or 3 songs got all the fucking streams and the rest are just there, which is what's going to happen probably, right? And
Yeah,
we were talking to
somebody.
Hard to
yeah,
say.
Sorry,
Hard to
we
say.
were talking
No,
about
no.
on our last podcast that this rapper, he legitimately did though 3 singles, right? And then he's gonna group them all into an EP. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, so it's like, do you do something like that, right?
I think James and I were kind of talking about this earlier today, actually. I think we're just gonna go down the single road, man.
I'm just saying
For a little
I-
bit, yeah.
I think so.
Yep. it's way to go.
I think it's easier to promote too, right? You're not having to try and
way
do the
easier,
whole
man.
album.
Because like we're so stoked on all the songs that we released in the new EP.
Mhm.
But it's just, I mean, we had
Well-
we have one song that seems to be doing pretty well out of it, but the other t-
as
like,
opposed to Dead of Sin. Yeah.
yeah, and the other two are just like people are listening, but it's not
Yeah.
the same. Like there's not the same excitement, than seeing all the attention that Dead of
It-
Sin got.
It was nice to see the other song get up over 1,000 as well, just because we didn't
That was straight
promote-
up one person. That was straight
Oh,
up one person.
had to be,
listening that.
had to be.
Like it,
Yeah.
like she literally like opened up Spotify on her computer, hit repeat, and went to
Walked
work.
away.
Straight up went to work.
Is that somebody on Twitter that we all know of very well? Is that who we're talking about there? Or no,
Probably.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing though. Like the one somebody gets onto one song. Like I said, we had one in Cincinnati. We have no idea who it is in Cincinnati, but was playing "Fix Me," and it was constant, like easy.
You know what? Fuck it. Take it. I'll
Oh,
take
fuck
it.
Absolutely. It was
You know what I mean?
great 'cause
Throw
then
it
you-
on repeat and leave it forever. Like, I
Yeah.
don't care. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They probably died. That's what we talked about. They probably died and just still playing. It's like, wow, they really support us. And it's just dead as
it reminds me of that reminds me of Family Guy where they have that one part in there where it's like, that's for the fan to decide. And it
That's
shows like
right,
one person up
One
in the
guy.
stands, like, yay.
yeah.
Yeah, but you guys, when you guys released, I have a question for you guys about your cover. When you released that pink cover,
Was it a pain in the ass? Yes.
yeah, no, did you guys receive like feedback on it? Like did you hear from people what they thought of it, or did you just put it out in the world? And I'll tell you the reason I ask is we put shit out in the world and we hear fucking nothing. Like our second EP,
stuff from you guys, obviously.
yeah, the second
Like,
EP,
there's people close to us that we hear from, but outside of that,
yeah,
really.
and-
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did. I
good.
I got a lot of feedback. People were really digging it. And I think the reason with that is just, I try to engage them as much as possible. And I just probably been lucky that way. Just stumbling across the right group of people who want to listen to a certain kind of music, I guess. You guys have a difficult genre, I think.
Yeah,
as
you
opposed-
you mentioned on your podcast, you nailed it, right? I think you're right.
Well, it's just, yeah, because like alternative rock in its basic form, not talking about all the different levels of it and stuff, but alternative music is so vast and is such a big thing. I mean, when you listen to Edge 102 right now, right, like that's a thing, that's a movement. You're not going to hear certain bands on that station because they don't fit into that.
Can I interrupt though? Like
Yeah,
in
yeah.
addition to what you're saying, that is a
Mhm.
movement, but I find that fans of that music aren't
Yeah.
nearly as vocal about, or they're not nearly as passionate about the bands they listen to.
Well,
Like,
that's what I was going to get at.
They're super into certain bands, but they don't
They don't
fucking say
promote it
anything
necessarily.
about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
what happens is I feel that the alternative rock market gets flooded because it's a big thing. Like
Yeah.
when you look at what people consider rock, like what's rock music, if you go to the hot rock charts on Billboard right now, you know what I mean? Like you'll see bands that are like our style way near the bottom. The ones all up on the top are the ones that are in the alternative charts. You're going to see like Panic at the Disco. You're going to see the Lumineers. You're going to see Mumford and Sons. You're going to see all that kind of stuff. And there's so much of it out there that I think it makes it hard for guys like you to break through and be like, hey, listen to our stuff. Our stuff is really good, because it is. But you got to somehow fall into that core audience that is going to be so passionate about what you're doing that they're going to plug it out there for you and push you past all that other shit. Because I can tell you a lot of that alternative stuff that is getting the major airplay right now, they're like one song people.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I
100%.
mean? They have like a
100%.
big song, it does well, makes them a lot of
Mhm.
fucking money,
And
and then
you
you
never see it again.
never hear from them again.
Yeah.
And then the other problem too is whoever's in charge of making these decisions, like the suits in the fucking world, they seem to be really confused what alternative is. You know, and I'm not knocking an artist for their craft or anything like that, but fucking why is Juice World on the fucking alternative tracks charts? Like honestly, I mean,
Jay.
like
Yeah.
no,
It's
no
true.
offense, but like
Easy,
you know what I mean?
big fella.
Pissing off the chart, people. You need to get on there
Oh.
too.
Yeah, I won't be on that chart. That's fine.
No, it's
Yeah.
true. You're right though. I mean, we went even like I think even we chatted about it, I think back in our first pod, it was like Taylor Swift, right?
Yeah, we did say that.
genre, right? And like, you know,
Her whole bloody album was on there at one point. Like
Yeah.
every bloody
Yeah.
song off of that, and it was a
And it'll
deluxe
be-
version.
right, and it'll be on different charts all
Yep,
over the place,
yep.
right?
Same
So-
with like who was I just thinking of? This was a few years back. Lord,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
right? Like
What happened to her?
that
Uh,
I don't know.
Exactly
Fucking
what James
legit.
is saying, right?
Yeah.
One song,
Fuck,
you make
crazy.
some money and
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
Like as far as I'm
Crazy.
concerned, like if you guys heard OTEP's cover of Royals, way fucking better.
anyway,
Anyway,
yeah.
yeah, that kind
I
of
don't know
stuff,
if they know
right?
who that is, buddy.
No, I didn't hear it.
You
I'm gonna have
will.
Yeah, well,
I'm going to be looking it up. That's for
Yeah,
damn sure.
Yeah, you'll be turning it off quick.
Let me put it to you this way: she would kick the shit out of all of us at the same time. I think.
Yeah, well,
Guaranteed.
for sure.
Blindfolded.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Scared.
But
now,
yeah,
man.
that's
Funny.
the case in point. Yeah, that's a very very tough market that you guys are in. But
But you
don't
guys, you guys,
despair.
but you guys have it. You know what I
You
mean?
guys have a solid
Appreciate it.
sound. You
Well,
guys
thank you.
have you guys have that. I can't think of the right word for it. It's a feel good sound. It's a throwback sound. And I think throwback's a good word because when you think of 90s alternative, you know, like that sort of style, that's I don't know, that's what I think of. Like your music, that's what I think of when I think of alternative.
Well, and let me put it this way too, like, and not that my opinion means fucking anything, but like, you know, I literally come
He's
from
honest.
like heavy metal, deathcore, that kind of
Right.
stuff. And now I do like a big, you know, a big variety of music, of different music. I'm telling you, man, like you guys, like, well, you guys heard me go on and on about my turn,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, and then when I listened to Who's Lonely Now, I was like, fuck me, man. Like, seriously, it was really, really
Music.
good. I wish, like, I wish that was my song. I'm not
Our next
lying.
cover, by the way.
Yeah.
That'd be
fucking
sweet.
awesome. That'd be
Fucking
fucking
awesome. Giddy up.
Yeah, thanks. It's so nice to be saying, man, honestly. But
It is.
like I was saying before we went live, and I was said we'll mention the podcast, and here it fucking comes. But it's more about engagement, man, and I think that's we're having we're struggling hard with engagement. Like I said, we released Torn and released our second EP, and we heard nothing, like no feedback. And you know, Who's Only Now is getting played, and the first real feedback I heard was when I watched your first podcast, and that's why I was so like fucking like, oh man, it's so nice, and fucking someone said something about that song, like no, we heard nothing. It's like it was like crickets, man.
It's tough though, because like you said though, and this is where I kind of calm Andrew down sometimes and talk him
Have
off the
to.
ledge, which I
Have to.
have to every once in a
Yeah.
while. I say, you know, let's look at, obviously it's getting streamed, right? So you got to look at that success, right? People are playing it on different radio stations. It's out there. So obviously, and then now I want to talk about this, us and our battle at KB radio
Yeah.
right now. Holy fuck. It's going to be tight. Let me tell
It
you.
is going to be tight.
It's going
It's going to be
tight.
so awesome when we hit #1 next week.
I
Yeah. No, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it, man.
Andrew messaged me the other day. He goes, "So I think we just hit our tipping point. We
Yeah, I think
we
we-
stuck at
we fucking apexed at number
we
2.
apexed at #2, and it was so funny. But you know what?
Oh.
I love it, man. I couldn't be happier that we're.
You know
both
what?
right
You know
here.
what? Lots of other people prefer Megadeth to Metallica. It's okay.
It's just
No.
brilliant. So, but that's what I mean. Like, so I know, and I've talked to Al, who runs that, you know, and he was honest, because I asked him, I was like, hey, do you mind if you put on Who's Lonely Now? And he was honest. He said, hey, leave, fix me, let it roll.
Let it breathe. Yeah.
Yeah, let it breathe. And then he goes, just remind me when this kind of goes off the chart kind of deal, you
Yeah.
know, like when it
Yeah.
starts to leave.
I had the same thought about plugging something else, but like
Yeah.
Dead of Sin's doing so well. It's like,
Yeah.
let it breathe. And then if it disappears, I'll hit you with something else.
Yeah, his
so-
exact words were let 12 years jump you first, and then and
I'm sure
then
that's
we'll
what he
talk
said.
about Who's Lonely Now. He's like, wait till they leapfrog you in week 4, and we're like, okay, it makes sense.
No.
You
No,
pick a
it's
new
sweet,
song,
though.
we'll pick a new song, and then the
Yeah,
battle
yeah,
starts all
yeah.
over
That'd
again.
be sweet. That'd be amazing. Eh? So no,
But you know
and
what?
it's-
Like, I want to. The other thing I want to talk about with that chart, though, and like, because I'm not kidding when I tweet this stuff out and I say like, people use your other 2 votes
Yes.
for Chasing
Same with
Records
us.
and
Yep.
Abby K. Let's talk about that for a second. Like, I don't know how old Abby K is. I caught a glimpse of like her podcast with Keep Rock Alive. She seems really young. But all I mean by that in the sense is like, she is so fucking good. Like as a
She's so talented.
as a rock artist, yes, she's very talented. And that I thought that I loved you. Like such a good song. And
Mhm.
like I want to see that song continue on that chart. Like she goes, I've noticed it goes up and down.
I know she's been on there, but she's been on there for a long time, which is
Well,
awesome,
there you go.
right? Which I mean, that's at the end of the day, I think regardless, obviously we all want to go to number 1 just to say, hey, we've got it.
Sure, but
But
the
if you're-
longevity.
But the longevity, that's what
Yeah.
you really want at the end of the day. And that's where I said to Andrew, is like, you know what? Like as much as maybe you don't hear the feedback that you want, because
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, all of us want to hear what do people like, what do they not like. They're obviously probably not going to call bullshit on you, most likely, at
Mhm.
least to your face or out on social media. I mean, some obviously, if you're big enough, they will. But
Yeah.
That's all they'll do if you're big enough. It's
that's
all-
right. That's all. That's
negative
true.
shit.
They're
Yeah.
gonna shit on you if you're big
Yeah.
enough. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So I think it's tough sometimes not to hear the feedback or the good stuff, or at least, hey, I really like this. But at the same time, when you're continually getting played, and like you said, the consistency, I think that's key. I think you know what you gotta ride the little successes all the way through.
Well,
right?
and
So,
there's slow burners too, eh?
Slow
Yeah,
burns. Slow
Um,
burns.
there's bands where it's like I've noticed. I mean, you guys know the band Cleopatra?
yeah, I just heard what's the song
No.
that's on right now?
Hometown.
Hometown.
Oh
That's
yes,
it.
then yes.
Great song.
It is a great song.
So that single, they released that as a single in 2017. Okay,
Wow.
it's on the fucking charts now.
Now.
Like today.
I don't know if that's true.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Yo, we have Google. Why even fight?
Yeah,
Let's
that's
not
not-
fight.
yeah,
Let's not
that's-
fight.
That's not
Why are you fucking-
2017.
What's
Yeah,
on
it was-
2017? No, it says that it's right. It's on Spotify. I have to keep
Oh,
double
it's on
checking.
Spotify. Oh, he's
No,
gone.
maybe still.
It
So
says
so
2017.
quick
That's when that
so
song
quick
was
fun
released.
fact. One of my mom's closest friends is
I remember this
the
story.
mother of the drummer of that band. I saw them before they got like signed and stuff, and they played at it was a benefit show, and I was there with my mom, and they were so goddamn good. Anyway, you can continue talking about
It came out 2017. He's not lying.
Yeah,
47
so that's what I
that
was
song
looking
came
for.
out
I
2017.
shit
Yes.
you not.
So
47
that's-
million plays. Right now on
Yes, so
Spotify.
that's my point is that I was getting at, and I like
Wow.
I've seen plenty of other examples, but we'll just stick
They're
with
from
that one.
Coburg, dude. Isn't that crazy?
That doesn't happen to Coburg.
Coburg's a
Um,
shithole.
all
I
they
know.
have, man. All they have is
So's
a
Wasaga
fucking,
Beach.
Coburg at least has a sand fest. What they do, like Sandcastle Fest. My wife and I went there one year.
We
Just
do
shout out to
that.
Coburg.
They
they
get
Shit,
they
yeah.
get turned up for
Yeah.
Canada Day.
oh
They
yeah.
really do.
At
Oh,
Coburg?
buddy.
Oh fuck, it was Sandcastle Fest. They had all these fucking sand sculptures. It wasn't sand castles, but whatever, same difference. And they had a fucking massive jumbotron like movie screen thing go up. I was like, oh, I wonder what movie they're playing. Tooth Fairy. Yeah, that was a thrill.
That's a party.
With the-
That's a fucking.
with the
That's a
Rock?
party.
Fucking
Yeah.
no kids, just the wife and I. It was great.
Instant
Another-
classic.
Another fun fact about Coburg is my
Said no one ever.
Yeah. Another fun fact. That's it. You got the
dude.
first one.
Listen, my grandfather owned the ice cream parlor right at the beach.
No shit.
Really?
Yes,
That is a fun
That's
fact.
as I say, it's a fun fact. Yeah, that fact has a lot
We
of
take
fun.
all that back.
I honestly thought it was fun.
It is fun.
That is
It's-
fun. No, I
and it's
take that.
factual. Yeah.
And every
I'm
summer,
factual.
2 weeks, my parents would ship me off there for 2 weeks, and he had
And
the
you had
chip
to
truck
work?
beside it too. And I just
Oh man.
Fucking A.
Ice cream and
Tremendous.
chip trucks.
yeah.
Done.
Up.
But
Heaven
yeah,
right there.
that's to that end, thanks for providing the world with Cleopatra, I guess, Coburg. I don't know how they promoted themselves in the beginning, what they did or anything like that. Like, I don't really know jack shit about them. Like, my history of that band is like Jay just explained. Like, that's the most I know.
Mhm.
So the fact that they were able to release a single in 2017 and probably did nothing with it, or it went nowhere because none of the right ears heard it, and then somebody did, so they're a prime example of just fucking stick with it, do whatever. And then the right person heard it. And now it's like literally one of the biggest rock songs in the
Well,
world.
let me tell you something. Their following, like locally, is
Mhm.
fucking
Huge.
insane.
Yes.
And like they've toured Europe, they've done it. And
That's what I mean. So they put
it's
the
literally
work in.
it's literally Ian drumming and Luke is singing and playing guitar. There's no bass player.
Right.
And he does runs his guitar through a guitar amp or whatever, and then an octave pedal and over to a bass amp or something like that.
Yeah.
It's super sick. Especially like if you're into like groovy stuff, and you want to talk about a front man. Honestly, like if like you have to see them live. Honestly, like their music just, it's not really what I'm into, but if you saw them live, like there's no denying it.
Yeah.
They're so fucking good.
It's so crazy
live.
though, because that's one of the things like I've said. I love Canadian music. I'd never heard of them. I didn't even know they were from Ontario.
Yeah, they're young,
yeah.
man.
Yeah,
They're young.
pretty
Like,
young.
Yeah.
like
And
I
that's
think,
probably, you know what, that might have been it. Maybe nobody was taking them seriously when they started. You know what I mean? And you put the fucking work in, and that's what they did. And somebody finally took notice, and like, yeah, now they literally probably wouldn't ever have to work again if they. Well, that's probably not true. Not in this.
No,
climate, but
no,
No,
yeah.
no, they're for sure having to get
Not
jobs, bro.
working.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Um,
But that's just it. And then so to that point, like you guys, us, whoever, like as long as we're still loving like doing this, making the
Mhm.
music or whatever, like yeah, let
think that's
everything
key.
breathe. Ride it out for everything it's worth. You don't have to rush out to anything unless you've got the content. Like if you want to keep writing songs and putting it out there, that's another great way to stay engaged. Is maybe that's just it. Maybe everybody's feeling Fix Me, then everybody was feeling Who's Lonely Now,
Yeah.
and then they
Can
kind
I
of
say
like
something about Who's Lonely Now? I've had a few beers now, so now I'm gonna start blabbing.
Now he's gonna start going.
Like it was funny because our first podcast, like I said, like 2.5 words maybe. I mean, our podcast with you guys, but
Oh,
yeah.
who's lonely now? And I'm not gonna talk about it anymore after this, I promise.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say something. So, I'm assuming Andrew did program the drums or whatever.
yeah, he did everything for that one. Yeah.
So I noticed, and maybe you don't like, maybe this wasn't your intention, or you haven't even really heard it yet. Being a drummer, right? I hear the chorus, right? And I hear you doing like quarters on the crash or whatever.
Yep.
And all I think is Neil Peart. Believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Believe it or not. Because I hear like if you hear the kick drum, right?
Yeah.
The kick drum with what you're doing with the crash, I thought of Rush, believe it or not. Now-
that was-
sucking your dick so hard right now.
yeah.
No, I'm just
I
listen.
didn't play the drums on the track. I programmed the drums. It's one thing if I
Teeth-
played the drums. And he's like,
Teeth
oh,
and everything.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
saying, hey Andrew, you're a
Blood.
great drummer.
yeah.
Because
exactly.
the best part is the best part is when we talk about drums, we're like, you better fucking program something that somebody could actually play.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
our rule too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our rule. If we
Yeah,
if
you
we
got to be able to play it.
if we program drums, you have to be able to play it.
We're not
So
gonna
fucking
name,
lazy, man.
we're not gonna name the
Yeah.
band, but we had Counterintelligence. Was it Counterintelligence or Candemic? I can't remember because there's a guy that's
same
in-
guys. I thought,
same
right?
guys, some of them are the same, but I think it might have been Candemic. Anyways, because they were from Ireland. They were straight from Ireland, or maybe they're both from fucking. It doesn't fucking matter. Anyways,
Yeah.
they were talking about a
Ow,
band.
Tell us more about Ireland real quick.
Fun fact about
Okay,
Ireland.
Another fun fact.
Fun fact about
Oh,
Ireland,
fuck.
they're still in lockdown and they never got out. Okay.
That's a
Anyways.
fun fact.
That's
Hey, at
the
least we got
opposite
out
of
for a
fun.
bit. This
That's
is actually a
lame.
terrible fact.
It's only a fact.
But no, and both those, and honestly, both those, like all the guys in there, both groups are phenomenal. But anyways, they were talking about it, and there was a band from Ireland that had a single that did fairly well, like really well, especially in Europe, and couldn't play it.
Yeah.
It's you
couldn't
too,
play
wasn't
it.
it?
What?
Yeah, I can't tell
No.
you who it is. I can't tell you who it is. I know who it is. I can tell you off because they were very diligent about not saying it.
Yeah.
Because the guy that it was Mountain River.
Counterintelligence.
It was
yeah, yeah.
counterintelligence.
Yeah.
He mastered he was the engineer behind it.
Yeah.
So
wow.
mixing that single or the album, and then they went to go and play it and they couldn't. So
Fucked up.
yeah,
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
We don't want that to ever happen.
That's-
yeah,
That's a slippery slope to
It is.
happen too, right? Like you
Right.
get all creative and shit, and you're just
You're all-
like,
you're
oh,
all
this
fucked.
sounds so sick.
So do
and then-
either of you actually play drums?
We both have fucked around with drums, but I
Yeah,
wouldn't say
I
we're
had a drum
drummers.
kit right
Yeah.
in this corner. Right, this is the crazy thing, and I'll not that anybody cares on that's going to listen to this podcast.
I care.
I appreciate that.
Are
Jay.
you saying our legions of fans?
Yeah.
I just meant about this fun fact, which really isn't fun. I guess. Well, it is kind of fun. So the corner that I'm sitting in, right?
Holy fuck.
the
Title of
corner
the show, fun fact.
that- exactly.
Fun fact.
10.5 million fun facts
Yeah.
With chasing records and 12 years.
featuring
Um,
Coburg.
That's right. So like where I'm sitting is where there was a drum kit at one point, and our basement was completely unfinished. And I have a picture of my daughter sitting here playing the drums. And it's so funny now that this is now like the recording studio, which is just it's insane to think that it's come that far. Of course, we got rid of the drum set because I was like, it takes up way too much fucking room. So, but it's something that I've always wanted to learn how to play, and I played it for a bit, and so. But I give props to you, man. I don't know how you fucking do it. I really don't.
Yeah.
I give
it's
props to you for being able to sing and play guitar, man.
I guess, yeah.
I give props to you all for all saying fun facts in the last 10 minutes. And I haven't said it yet, so I'm just gonna keep it. Well,
You
I just
actually
said it.
just
did.
did.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly. So guess what? You're on the
Fun
train.
fact.
I
Andrew
lied.
just said it.
What a fun fact. My first instrument I played ever was drums, and I bought a drum kit on a whim, and I just put it in my room, and I just fucking drummed for an hour a day. And my first band, I was a drummer, and I found it really, really like I wasn't great. There was times when I thought I was good, but looking back, man, like I didn't
Nobody
have
else
the.
did, but you did.
No, I didn't have. You know, like that. You know, my downfall.
Lawyered.
Yeah. My downfall was the bass kick, man. I fucking I wanted to be more technical with it, and I never did anything to get better. And then I just stopped playing drums, and that's here we are, right? Like it's
I
You
think
did
that's
the
where,
whole,
where it gets
the old-
tricky is that
The,
kick
the
drum,
old
right?
Homer Simpson. If something's
yeah.
hard to do, it's not worth doing.
not worth doing. Yeah. No, so actually, what happened was I was playing drums, and this guy.
Wow.
Dude, so fun fact.
Fun fact, I heard it. Yeah.
I normally drink beer out of a glass for that reason.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm not gonna have a glass tonight.
I'm
big
a
mistake.
man.
Hey, is that the new one?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Mine's
Is it
coming
good?
Is it?
tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
The cream or what?
This is
Kolsch.
Creamar, our unofficial sponsor.
Your
Okay.
unofficial sponsor?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hit
Hey.
them up. Just tag them in the shit. Tag them in
No
the shit.
shit.
Keep going.
I've got Gretzky going right now.
Oh, nice.
I love this
Gretzky
shit.
makes
Have you
beer
done-
now too.
Oh my god, this
Fuck.
rye lager. Holy
Oh,
fuck.
it's rye lager. What?
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
Is it
Get
great?
on this train. It's so
Um,
fucking good.
Is it greatness?
I have to
It's his
pee.
greatness.
It's
I have
greatness.
to pee really bad. So you guys still chat. I'll be back in a
All right.
jiffy.
All
Oh,
right.
this is awesome.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's
this,
like
this is a podcast. You pee on air. What the fuck?
Yeah,
is
you
this?
just go.
I don't have any
Just go, man.
bottles.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
You had-
go, man.
You had the little can hole.
No
You
one's
named-
judging you. Where are you
Yeah.
going?
Speaking of which, there's like an article written out about Amazon about that just today. About
Okay,
how
what do
they
you guys really think about Jay? Like, you can
he's
tell
a-
me. No.
Fun fact. Fun fact.
Fun fact.
He can't handle his booze. He's peeing right away.
He can't- He's got a weak bladder.
Yeah, yeah. I was actually worried about that. I was like, normally our podcasts are like 40 minutes, and I'm like, if I'll be okay. I'll make it for like 40, 50
Yeah.
minutes. Like I'll be able to piss. And then I thought, because I was drinking earlier, and I was like, man, what if I had to piss during the podcast? And then so I did the strategic thing, which I peed right before. But now that he's broken the fucking seal, I feel like he'd leave anytime.
See,
That's
this
right.
is the,
Make
this
a
is the
sandwich. if I
content
want.
people are tuning
Yeah.
in to see.
That's
This
right.
really is.
like literally this should be the promo of it all. Really.
Yeah.
What's the over under? He washes his hands. Just don't like fucking. What's the over under? Like what is
COVID,
happening?
I'd
I
say
bet you he doesn't wash his hands.
Okay, yeah. all right.
You know why? For many different reasons. Number one, there's nobody else there, so whatever. Number
enough.
two, I don't have a number two, but
no,
whatever.
no.
I would thought number two would have been like I've spent enough time with them that I know he
Yeah.
does.
If it was
yeah.
a number two, then yeah, you should
Yeah,
wash his
yeah.
hands. But
Yeah. Well, it
you
might
heard
be
it here first, folks.
Yeah. So a fun
It
fact.
depends on how quick he is.
When he gets back to this, he's gonna be like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah. A fun fact: as a man, if no one's home, you can just not wash your hands. That's a fun,
No one would know the
Fun fact.
difference.
or use the toilet at all. You can pee anywhere. It's all
I can't wait
good.
for him to watch this back tomorrow and be like, "What the
Uh,
fuck?"
the fuck, guys.
How did you guys go? What tangent did you guys go on? No, don't worry about it.
Yeah. No, it's just this pee interrupted the flow. Now we're
Actually,
just,
it's funny, Andrew. You said that though about my wife was asking about like, oh, why are you drinking tea? It was like 3 o'clock. She was like, you feeling okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I go, but if I start drinking all day, I said, like, I'm not gonna be able to do this
Gonna be-
podcast.
Yeah.
Man,
Oh.
I have a neighbor who his job, what I think it is, the way he describes it is he goes to LCBOs and he tries to offload product, like new product and stuff, and to get it in the store. So he's like a salesperson for a bunch of individual. I don't know what the fuck he does, but he always brings me, like the other day he just knocks on the door, middle of the day.
Wait,
and-
you know what? First of all, I think we should explain to everybody who's watching this right now
Oh.
that the LCBO is where we buy our liquor.
That's right.
Okay.
It's called the Liquor Control
Oh
Board of
yes,
Ontario.
yes.
We don't just get to go to 7-Eleven and buy,
yeah.
fifth of
We're
whiskey.
we're starting to get not the
We're
hard-
getting close. We're getting
And
close.
if you're in Canada, 7-Eleven used to be a very big store that sold.
We can't
But-
do that in Canada, guys, in the US, because if they fucking made booze available to us everywhere we went, we would just be drunk all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Or
for
more
real,
so.
and
so
stronger
true.
shit.
Especially in the winter.
Um,
There's nothing else to do here but drink. So
And
true.
lockdown for a year and a half.
No shit.
that too.
Yeah. But anyway, so he came to my house, knocked on the door at about 2:00 afternoon, and he has a fucking plastic bag, and he goes, "Here, man," and he gives it to me, and it's like full of shit. I'm like, what is this? He goes, "Vodka," and you know when you get the little
the spark
bottles,
plugs? The spark
little-
plugs.
yeah,
Like
So
the
he-
hotel ones?
yeah,
Oh, you
yeah.
call them spark plugs?
I call them spark
I love
plugs.
that. I
yeah.
never
I
heard
love
of
that.
them forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gave me a bag of them because they were on the product that he was selling, but they now not selling anymore. It's not promotional anymore. So he gave me
Okay.
a bag of it. So I was having fucking vodka all day because this guy. I was like, this is awesome.
Just
He doesn't
roll
drink, so it's perfect. Like it's a perfect neighbor to have.
That's a
basically.
great neighbor to have.
Yeah, yeah, awesome.
Find me one of those.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So he gave me a bag of vodka. So I had like, and each little bottle is like 3 shots I found today. So
I feel like that's a hashtag, bag of vodka.
bag of vodka.
That's
that'd be-
better than box of wine. And bag of
that's
vodka.
Bag of vodka. Yeah.
I'd be drinking Caesars all day tomorrow if I were you. I'm just telling you right now.
Absolutely.
Oh, shit,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I bought a bunch of mix today. and
Also,
fucking-
for our American fans, that's a Bloody Caesar or Bloody Mary, but a Caesar
Mm.
is way better. I'm just telling you. Right
Oh, way
Hands down.
better. Is it a Bloody Mary mixed with beer?
now.
No,
No.
that's
no. You're on the right
That's a
track though. There is
Boilermaker.
yeah, something like that.
I don't
Yeah.
Sounds
I
like
think
sounds like a sex name, the Boilermaker. The fuck is
know.
that? You ever give
Hey, you want in
Boilermaker
on this,
before?
buddy?
Yeah.
By the way, Jay makes a killer Caesar, by the way.
Mhm.
Jay makes a
do.
killer Caesar.
I do absolutely.
Like if Jay makes you a Caesar, you'll drive all the way up to LaFontaine, the fucking sparrow fart town that he lives in, just to
Just to get one.
get
What do you rim the glass with there, Jay?
Can't tell you.
his ass.
Fucking hell,
Semen.
What an asshole.
Maybe.
I can't
Probably why James likes it.
yeah, yeah.
It's good. I don't ask questions. I don't ask questions.
He went to the bathroom to make a Caesar. That's what he was doing.
That's awesome. The celery
that's
hides
amazing.
it.
It all
Just- you
makes
don't even
sense.
It's
know.
amazing.
This just went south.
Celery hides it. I like that. Fuck.
Okay, so here's a serious. Here we go
Okay.
back to being
Okay,
serious.
Back to
here.
serious. All right, hold on.
So when we talk about engaging our fans and stuff like that, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the radio option on Spotify. So like you have Chasing Records radio, and we have
Yeah.
12 Years Today radio. You're just not automatically born with that. The algorithm has to line itself up right, and you got to get enough people listening to you, and blah blah blah, and they need to figure out the other bands that your fans are listening to, and then you get one, right? So we're both on each other's radios. I don't know if you've noticed that.
I have, yes.
So therein lies kind of a solution. That's given you a window as to who is listening to us. So I know that our fans are also listening to you, and your fans are also listening to us. So there's a tell right there. Then we start looking at all the different bands that are on our radios. Okay. And I've already noticed, I've already figured out our core audience, and like which of them are listening to which of these bands on our radio. That's a thing that you guys could be doing as well, is looking at everyone that's on your radio and then going back and figuring out which of your listeners are into those bands. Those are the people you want to engage. You want to engage the people that are listening to those bands as well. And then before you know it, you're going to start closing that gap, and you're going to get this precise group of people that are going to be into your music as well as these other people. And you can build off of that. You can network with the fans of the other bands and stuff like that, because if they're fans of that band, they're probably going to like you as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's a good point, actually.
It's a good tool. It's a good tool to use the algorithms to your advantage, and just like figure out who's listening to all that stuff and start engaging with them, because they're on your radio for a reason. If any band, like who is this band? There's so many bands showed up in our radio. I'm like, who is this? I've never heard of this band before. Luckily, like I've listened to them all and I think they're all amazing. So that's great. But I realize I'm like, oh, people who are listening to these guys are also listening to us. So I need to be engaging with this band's fans as well. And all the way down the list type idea. So I think
you just gotta grind, man. That's what it comes down to. I
guess that's what it really comes down to. You gotta grind and just find.
People lose interest quick, man.
They do. Yeah, we've talked about that before too, right? Is that whole, short attention span.
And Instagram sucks, man. We've gotten some more followers lately and whatever, but like go back to what you said earlier, like, I put a like ask me anything and people are like, no, we're good. We don't give a fuck.
Exactly. But they fucking but they'll like the post though.
They'll like it.
Mental.
Yeah.
They'll like what you say, but not even contribute.
That's just to get that next step.
Right? Yeah. I just was hoping. So I was saying before we recorded is we throw up on our Instagram, like, hey, ask the band anything. We'll read it in a shout out to your Instagram account and your name in a live video. And we got one question in 48 hours. So I reposted it 24 hours later. One question, and I gotta shoot that answer to that question because I have to do it. But it's just I was hoping we have over I think we're around 1,200 followers, and I was just hoping like, hey, maybe
1,200 followers on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just like, hopefully, like 5 of you will, because I saw that over 200 people saw it, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
5 people asked a question, it shows a couple things. If they ask a question that we haven't answered already on the 30 fucking podcasts we filmed, then it's like, oh, they must be watching our shit. Or B, if they ask a question, that means they're not watching our podcast, which means like we can answer the question, kind of be like, in our podcast, we talk about this, if you're interested, blah, blah. But we got no engagement. We had a bunch of likes and a bunch of views, but in like 500 impressions, but
so this is something that you and I talked about there the other day, where it's like, it almost seems like people think that you guys are a podcast and not a band.
Oh no, sorry. The story was they think we're a fucking record label, and someone I work with said how is the record label? And I was like, but I sent you an email. It said, here's my
people suck, man. No, people suck.
Because they don't, what people don't read either, right? That's the other thing. They just see it.
That's what I mean. They suck.
If they read your page for longer than 3 seconds, they'd figure out what you're all about.
But that goes back to the attention span thing, right? Hands down. Well, and it's funny. Like we were trying our hand at TikTok, and then I posted like a torn clip, and it got.
I fucking died at that one. There was one that it was pretty funny. I laughed my ass off.
Which one now?
Oh, it was like when you guys first started. There was I can't remember because I only watched it a couple times.
Yeah.
But I remember like out loud laughed.
Yeah.
Like how people say LOL, but they're actually they just smile.
Yeah.
Like I LOL'd.
TikTok's a grind too, but like that one had over like 600, and I think as of today, it's been only up for 24 hours. I had like 650 views.
Wow. Yeah. But no extra followers, no comments, no likes.
Yeah,
which is like
there's
no likes.
No likes.
But you know
there's
what?
No
like 600 plus fucking views and no likes.
Here's the thing though. I said this.
I'll confirm that right now with you. Go ahead. You keep talking.
But I said but here's the thing though. I said to Andrew though, I'll be honest, and I don't do TikTok, but because I have to open the fucking app to get into our shit, of course, one plays right away, and it's usually something fucking catchy. Like they're really good at it. Right, they're really good at picking something up that you're like, oh fuck, that's actually I'm gonna watch that.
Oh, sorry, 2 likes now.
There you go.
2 likes.
I didn't go in like
that's 200% better.
Yeah. Fuck. So 648 views, 2 likes, no follows, no comments.
And like I said, I didn't go in like or comment the one that I like the one that I saw. I was like, oh fuck, that was good.
Yeah, but you don't have to.
Thinking like people are watching this TikTok like more like they're forced to watch it. Like they saw it and they were like,
swipe
by
up, I don't know.
accident.
I think TikTok is super saturated, man.
I think so
Yeah.
too.
Super
It's bad,
saturated.
dude. You know what? Like we had fucking TikTok back in the day. It was called Vines.
That's
Like,
right.
seriously.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's
no
We talked about
different.
that too,
It's
yeah.
the same thing.
I
Same
think
thing.
the
Same
three of
thing, they
you
just
are
bought
much
'em up.
older than me. I have no idea what that is.
You know what Vines
You
are?
know what vines are?
No, man.
Bro. Wow.
Bro.
It's not an
bro,
age thing.
bro.
I just don't know.
Yeah, no Vine.
Wait, wait. You say you know what MySpace is? That means you're not
I
fucking.
know, man. I'm
No,
old
yeah,
as
yeah.
fuck.
A young gun. You know MySpace? I
I
bet you had
know.
ICQ. Do you have ICQ?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're okay then. You're not. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah.
ICQ. Oh my god. Yeah.
ICQ and MSN Messenger, kids.
Oh.
Yes.
And you know the
yes.
best thing about
Uh-oh.
MSN Messenger? Hold on one second. The
Yeah.
the MSN Messenger thing, it was your mission to get a computer in your own room.
Yep.
So you could leave MSN Messenger on all day while you're at school as a way. And then when you come home
Yes.
from school, you get to see that nobody messaged you because everyone else is also at school. But because you were able to just stay logged in all day, like that was a fucking big deal, man.
It
Straight
was.
up.
I
It
used
was.
to with
Yeah.
MSN Messenger. I used to always
No
set
way.
to away or offline, just so I could
Appear
spy
offline.
on every.
Appear offline. Yeah.
Appear
yeah.
offline,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
so,
people would just be like talking away, and I'd just be like, "Hey, I'm actually here."
so Skype for Business. I don't know if either of you are office workers, but before it went over to like Microsoft Teams or whatever,
Mhm.
Skype for Business was essentially was essentially MSN Messenger, and you can did the same shit. Like I was like, yeah, I don't want people asking me to work right now, so I'm just gonna go to
Yeah.
away,
You're away. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
That's
we,
funny. Though. Yeah, I worked at Good Life at head office, and that's what they used as like their chat between like when we were chatting with people in the office. We'd use that because it was a free service, right? So you just fire. They're like, "Oh, do you
Makes
have
sense.
MSN Messenger?" I was like, "Not since I was in high school." And they're like, "Well, you better get back on." I was like, "Okay, well, my email is," and mine. Okay, so it doesn't matter because it's gone now. But it was my name is Joe and I am Canadian at hotmail.com.
yes, it was.
Wow.
Yes,
Awesome.
it was.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Underscore in between each fucking one too. And
Yo, I would.
Difficult.
I
Nice.
never would
Had to
email
fucking
you.
be
Tell you
different.
right
I would
now.
never-
I'll
I would never email
fucking
you,
email
ever.
you, bud.
That's right.
Never.
I am underscore. Fuck, I'm out. I'm already out.
Exactly.
Fuck
it was brilliant.
was-
I never got spam.
What was your first email, Jay? It's got to be something stupid, right?
Well, I know for sure it is, but I don't know. I honestly don't
Don't
know.
remember?
Um,
Mine had something to do with Captain America. I can guarantee it.
I know that all my email addresses had like XX on it. Like I was like
kissing and hugging, or the fuck?
no, like XX as in like
Porn?
no, also no, that would be
Like-
three X's.
like
Yeah.
lowercase x, capital X, and then another lowercase x.
Like
Like
I see
Vin
that.
Diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a lot of 13s. I was a wannabe goth. I had big
Okay.
like spiky hair and like spiky bracelets and stuff like that.
You're like
Yeah.
a modern. You were like a Seth Green back in the day, from
Sure,
like
buddy.
Buffy.
Seth Green. Yeah.
You're like, I don't know who that is.
I
Oh
don't.
fuck, Seth Green. Oh, that guy. Holy shit.
Yeah.
How's that guy ever famous? Wasn't he in? He was Austin Powers though, right?
Oh, that guy. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
Scotty.
talking about-
He was
Scotty. Yeah, Scotty.
Scotty.
Scotty. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I
He
don't know what the
was?
fuck else. Yeah, he does the voice for Chris on Family Guy.
Yes, he does. Yes,
I
he
did
does.
not know
yes,
that
yes,
either.
he does. Yes, yes, yes. He sounds like the kind of
Does
guy
he?
that would have been in American Pie. Because he wasn't. But
It's like he
he's
should have been,
He
right?
should have been American Pie. You think,
or at least
right?
had a cameo.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. That's a
Yeah.
good point. Yeah.
You know what
should have
the
been.
fun fact?
Fun
No,
fact.
no, I don't think anybody from American Pie is doing sweet fuck all anymore, except for like Eugene Levy did.
Eugene
Shit's Creek
Levy,
for 6
yeah.
seasons.
About it.
He also did every fucking American Pie, like 1 through 107.
Yes.
Like, he was in all of them. Like, holy fuck! You know what I mean? Like,
One
straight
through
to fucking.
107.
Those were going straight to VHS when DVD was a thing because there's like no one watched it. It's like
Didn't
the
they
same
do like
fucking
a
thing.
spin-off series where it was like supposed to be like Stifler's little brother? or
Cousin? It's just
something?
cousin. Stifler's cousin. Yeah, yeah. Like,
Oh, yeah,
fucking-
they had to
it's
say cousin.
dead
'cause if he
horse,
used his little
man.
brother, then they'd have to try and get the chick who played his mom.
Yeah, yeah. But Eugene Levy was fucking there, and he wasn't related to him.
That's hilarious.
Why is he there? Yeah, I don't know.
Because nobody would
Because-
watch it if he wasn't
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. Yeah. Well, now I think I'm gonna watch it anyway.
there.
You know, like, yeah, I'm gonna Google how many there are. By the way, just before I forget, going back to hometown from 40 minutes ago, They actually released a video in 2017 as well. It was a straight up
that music
single,
video?
and they call it version 1, and then Hometown version 2
Right.
came out in
'Cause it was
2020.
probably
Yeah.
like their self-funded
Is it a
shitty
s-
version.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Just
that's why I'm thinking that version
Yeah.
2 came out in 2020. You said
Yes. Yeah.
okay.
Of the video, not the single.
No, the single version 2 came out again as a single. So they released this. See, now we have to go back and listen to both versions, see if it's the same shit
Because 2017 they weren't signed yet.
and they released it, but they had a video with the director and it says that they're Canadian rock. It says Canada Rock 6 on the charts, but it doesn't. I can't click on it, so I don't know what that means.
But still, that
Yeah.
number 1 still has 47 million plays.
It's
So-
awesome.
Which
Yeah,
is
they're killing
insane,
it.
right?
It's crazy.
To think
So anyway, I
that
just
there's
wanted you
two
to know that
versions of it.
I had that pulled up here, and I never went back to it, and now I'm going to Google American Pie. So
Where did you see that there's a second version?
Wikipedia?
Okay, because I
Oh.
mean, like I go on Spotify and I look
there-
up the
I couldn't
Boys
see either
EP.
there. Yeah.
Like the Boys EP came out in 2018, but the single
Mhm.
like Hometown came out in 2017.
So there's an album called 14. It came out in 2016, and that's what Hometown version.
They
1
did a
is on.
cover of X's and
Not-
O's.
it's not on Spotify though. I'm looking at it
Yeah.
right now.
Mm.
Hometown's not on it.
No, just on 2017. They did, what was that, Jay?
They did a cover of X's and
X
O's.
and O's.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
They killed it.
The El King song.
Killed it. I
Yeah.
don't know.
They must never
Yeah,
have
it's all
recorded
King.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it
It's
was.
not on there, right?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
We should tag Cleopatra in this YouTube video.
All I got is just shout out to Jamie,
Oh,
Ian's
you know
mom.
the guy.
No, Jamie's his
Oh, his
mom.
mom.
I know Ian too. I've met them, but Jamie's
the
like
X's
the
and O's.
Jamie's the nicest. She's like the band mom for sure. Even though she's the mom to half the band, but she's for sure band mom. She's the best.
That's awesome, eh?
She's
I want to hear
super
that
supportive.
cover now. The
Yeah, I
cover's
know,
not
man.
on Spotify, but
No, it's not.
Oh,
I wonder if they may have it live somewhere. Like
I'm telling you, like, oh yeah, you could find it. It's out
I'm
there.
sure it's probably at
Um,
least a live version. Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke is like you can't get much more frontman than that guy. If you just watched him, how he plays and sings and play, it's crazy, man. Dare I say it's captivating? It's insane. No, I'm serious. It's insane.
Dare I say? You can say that, man.
Yeah.
Thanks,
you can
man.
say that. Yeah, no worries, man. We'll have to check that out, man. We're like, that's. I'm sorry, I'm still fucking stuck on American Pie, man. I'm sorry.
Well, we kind of
so-
segued because he mentioned that they did that cover. That kind of segues us back to cover. So never really flat out asked you, but what made you actually like decide on Natalie Imbruglia? Excuse me.
So
How dare you burp on air
Well,
like that?
It was a cold
Unbelievable.
fucking night. It was a cold night, and I was looking at the sky, and
it was
I
torn.
called Nate. I said, "Man, I feel so torn about the sky right now."
Who
and
did
then-
your
and then-
artwork?
Perfect guy.
A single tear. Nate
I
did
did.
the artwork.
Yeah.
Do you do artwork?
No.
So you just kind of just took a stab at it.
Yeah. Just take
That's
a
cool,
stab.
man.
Th-
Looks good.
yeah.
I like it.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah. Andrew fucking was like, I love that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really
it was
cool.
fucking dope. Yeah.
No,
Um,
that we how did we get on? Oh,
It was because we were promoting the EP on a pod. We did a pod, just him and I, where we talked about the one you showed a picture of in your living room, Jay, when you listen watching.
Yeah.
it.
I
We
listen,
talked.
man. I'm a
Yeah,
fan.
well,
I'm not
fuck.
bullshitting.
You might be. We should get matching band tattoos. We'll talk about that later. You know what I mean? It was so dope. But we were talking about Who's Lonely Now, and when we wrote Who's Lonely Now, I told Nate, I said at the end of the song, when it ends, I don't want the song to end. I want you to do like a fucking like guitar thing. I said, think of like Torn by Natalie Imbruglia. So you know that he does like
Funny you
the.
say that, man. It's funny
Now you fucking
say
catch
that.
it, right?
That's funny.
I already did catch it.
Oh, there you go. So
already did catch it.
That's how I explained to him, and he actually he sent back, and it was like perfect. But I was like, so I took it and I looped it, like I did 2 at the end, so his solo goes off
Mhm.
twice,
Mhm.
and I fucking love the ending. So we were talking about that, and then we talked about Natalie Imbruglia for like 20 minutes in that fucking podcast.
and then we didn't shit on her.
no, we didn't shit on her. No,
it
we
was just that somebody commented after the fact, after the whole conversation that we had about her. It was like, oh, don't knock covers. And we're like, we weren't knocking a cover. It was just that had it not, and that person that commented just said, like, and it's true, if it hadn't been for Natalie Imbruglia, we would have never heard that song because it was a Dutch song before.
Oh yeah, and that's why we talked about it for so long, because I told
Yeah.
Nate that her version is not an original. She covered a
And
Dutch
I had
band.
no idea.
I didn't know
And-
that either.
Yeah.
Is that really?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that blew my mind. I found that like 4 years
Mhm.
ago. So
Wow.
I had to tell him, I was like,
Yeah.
dude, fuck, it was a
I
cover.
was
So
fucking today years old when I found that out.
yeah, floored. It
Wow.
floored me. I don't know why it affected me so fucking much though. I was like, holy fuck, it's not an original. And
That's kind of flooring me a lot too.
yeah, like
It's-
4 hours later, I was like, why do I care so much?
well,
Like, I don't
because that
know.
was like fucking 20 years ago.
I
and it's
know,
like,
I know.
it's like
And
I'm
it
just finding this out now.
yeah. So we talked about that, and then we did a podcast.
That's hard for James, eh?
Yeah,
Like he can't not know things.
It's
we might have to
true,
drive
I'm
up
bothered.
to Wasaga for this,
Yeah.
kids. Sorry, we have to break COVID rules here.
Facts. He
I'm
likes to
gonna
know
drink
everything.
extra much tonight.
Yeah, and cry in the dark with the torn in the background. I know, but
Yes.
yeah, and you should.
Bound and broken on the floor.
That's right.
That's what she's talking about. 'Cause it's the cover,
Jesus.
and you don't know about
Just
it.
keep
It
your
was-
clothes on.
It was,
I'm gonna start sending cryptic messages to Daniel Johns from Silverchair and like telling him I want
Oh,
him
fuck.
back and stuff.
Silver chair. Man,
That's
lives-
digging. That's
he
digging
lives.
deep
He
into
lives in.
knowledge.
He lives in a cemetery though.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
you like that?
Well done.
Yeah, you like that? Fuck. Holy
Jesus.
shit. I'm sorry.
Wow.
But what was the question?
I don't know. I
What were we
don't know
talking
what
about?
happened. Oh yeah, like what made you go with that song?
So then we were talking to the real Michael Lee on our other the next pod, and we were just fucking jumped back into Natalie Imbruglia. And at the time we were still talking about doing the other cover with
The driver's license.
yeah.
Yeah.
And when we got off the pod with him, we had to film the intro, and we were just like, "Fuck, man, let's just cover that song. We talk about it all the time. Let's just cover it." And that's it. And then it was it. Like,
Nice.
Yeah.
it came really quick, man. Like, I had learned the fucking the intro of Torn on piano, and I fucking loved it. And like piano is so fun because I don't know what I'm fucking doing. I'm just fucking around. But like, you know, you Google, you know, what's an E flat and piano, and you're just fucking going for it. And so it once we got that down, like just the intro, I was like, this is gonna be fucking dope. I knew right when the intro was done, like we could make this like our style very easily. Yeah, so it started because we
It
just
did.
we talked so
Yeah.
much shit about
thanks.
about
Yeah. We.
yeah,
The fucking and the guitar at the end. I mean, I was waiting for that.
yeah,
waiting for that.
Yeah,
And it was
That
like,
was
and you,
fun.
and
That
you
was fun
nailed
to
it. And it
do.
was just kind of
Thanks.
like, oh man, because like that's for me, like that's what I always remember the most of that,
That
song was
song.
that
Yep.
outro.
Yeah.
Yep. I used to get fucking pissed off when the radio would cut off the end. You know when you get the radio
Yes,
edit,
the
and
radio
no
edit.
fucking
Yes, that
end,
used to
I
piss
was
me
always
off.
so mad because I'm waiting for that last.
Yeah,
and
going
fucking-
back to what you mentioned earlier, like I for sure, like when I listen to your cover, I'm like, I think they got that idea for Who's Lonely Now
Yeah.
from
100%.
this.
Bang on.
It's
Yeah.
so, and when I heard that, I was like, oh, that's so sick. Like that's so awesome, man. Honestly, I'm
It was a neat little transition to doing the cover that way. Should
I
we,
love-
So
should,
do you think?
should we dive into what the other cover we're trying right now, Andrew?
Oh no, fuck off! I was dabbling and I was dibbling and never mind.
Just
go ahead.
Just Backstreet Boys is what
I was
Andrew
doing it.
said
I was
last.
yeah. But you
My-
know, my wife shit on me so hard for it. Like it's
Why?
you know, because you know the thing is, here's the thing. When you get married, the best thing to do is marry someone who would be honest with you, and she is the most. If she likes something, she'll tell me. She doesn't ever fucking bullshit me. And even if she doesn't want to hurt my feelings, I could see her face and like she hates this idea. So, and she showed me, and she like I showed her the song, and she was like, "That's fucking Muzak." You know what I mean by Muzak? I was like, "No." She goes, "Okay."
Elevator
go-
music.
Yeah, she goes, "Oh, she's like, you're going to a fucking restaurant and you're at a fucking buffet and you hear it. And you go,
Did she
I
swear
think-
that much?
no."
I was gonna say that.
Uh,
Oh, you just
Sounds
ruined the
I-
illusion.
I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell with the blows she was throwing upon me verbally.
oh,
No, but
merciless beating.
no, yeah. But she was she's always honest, and that's I really like that because I you know sometimes you're like this is great, and you need someone before maybe even sometimes before Nate hears it, so like if it's shit he doesn't have to hear it and go this guy's an idiot. But usually it's after because I send to him regardless, and I show her, and she's like But yeah, so I fucked around because I was like I want to see if I can make like a really known pop song, like a rock song. And so I did Shape of My Heart. I learned on piano. I got that piano down well.
Mhm.
And then
So
I
you
put, like,
thought, but didn't you do it wrong the first time?
the piano?
Was it the piano that you got wrong?
No, it was I did the drums. I put the fucking jungle
the
drums behind it.
drum.
Yeah. So it was doomed from the beginning, man. And anyway, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Backstreet
you-
Boys,
hey,
I was just
hey.
gonna say, like, I thought it was gonna go to a place where it was like Backstreet Boys. Why would you do Backstreet Boys? Like,
Yeah, no,
but
my
if-
wife said to me the funniest thing in the world. She said to me, she goes, like you have all the songs in the world to cover, and you pick fucking that song. I was like, okay, whatever. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. But it,
Hey,
yeah.
Fucking August Burns Red. They're like a huge metal band. They've covered Britney Spears. So like
There you
Yeah.
go.
See?
I'm gonna send her that song.
Tight.
they didn't lose any street cred for doing it. So
No. I don't think
know
it
what
was
I
good
mean?
though. I don't think it was good. The problem was like if you keep that piano, the biggest problem with the whole thing is whenever I envisioned it as a song, I'm like, Nate has to sing this song, and I thought like he's gonna fucking hate even trying this. Even if no matter how much I could do it, it's like he's still gotta be like, baby. He's gotta be like, it's like it's not gonna fly, man. It's not gonna fly. So you know,
Wait, okay,
We'd
that's
be
funny
able to
that you'd say
tell-
that.
We'd be able to tell because he'd sing "Baby," but it would
Yeah.
actually sound like "fuck this shit."
yeah.
It's funny you say that because when we were recording Who Knew, there's a part in there you remember. So there's a part like in the bridge where Pink is singing like what does she do? It's something like a yeah, like that or something like that. And I did it, and instantly like Jay keeled over laughing, and I'm like, "Oh, shut
my
up, shut up!
God.
I have to do it that way." And he's like, "No, I know." So I did it again, and he laughed again. I'm like, "Okay, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I
That's
can't do it."
hilarious.
So we
That was-
left it out. It was probably a
It-
better choice because if I
It's
had
funny
just
you
done
s-
it, it would have literally sounded like I did it just because she does it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's a spot in Torn that Natalie Imbruglia does something, and I didn't do it on purpose because like there's no way I can run this. But Andrew's, I think you had mentioned before, but it was like do the guitar instead of the vocals, like trying
Yeah.
to mimic the vocals in
On
guitar.
guitar.
Yeah, so it was. I think it was right out. I think it was after the shit. I
Second
don't remember.
chorus?
Second
The
chorus. I
sec-
was gonna say. I think
yeah,
it's the
yeah,
second chorus.
yeah.
But
After
yeah. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna hit this vocally. Not a chance.
And actually, a fun fact that we never talked about. Fun fact
Yeah,
is my
fun
fucking
fact.
thing. Fucking yeah, I love it, man. I love the fun facts.
That's like fucking
Um,
4 for you now, bro.
Bro,
know.
you
What
took-
happened?
already-
What happened?
you
What
took- you
happened?
took-
So I'm not
you took a
saying
piss.
it.
You took a piss. I dropped 103 of them while you were in there. I was fucking just like while you're on break. I was like, fun fact. Like I'm like crazy. I forgot what I was gonna say now though. You fucker. Oh shit. Oh yeah. Okay. Fun fact. Here it is. At before the guitar solo at the end of
Oh,
that screaming thing that kind of pans from ear to ear.
oh yeah,
That's Nate's son.
my son.
Nate's son's on the track.
Cool.
Yeah. So
He
I
gets on there.
I don't remember what I asked him to do. What I asked him to say.
Hey.
Was it hey?
Yeah, it was hey.
Is that what it was? Yeah. So I said, hey, go
Hey.
hey. And then I just took a bunch of effects over top of it, doubled it, and then put it in the track
Nice.
to make it sound like a guitar. Yeah.
So now his
Yeah.
voice has been immortalized forever.
That's right. I thought
Yeah.
it was kind of cool. Yeah. I was just like, hey, I just said, like, here, grab the mic. I swung it over. I'm like, I want you to
Yeah.
do this. And he did it. And I had my headphones on. I'm like, okay, good.
I'd love to do that with my son one of these days because
You
like
should, man.
he loves singing. Like that's what he does. He loves to sing. He'll probably be like one day, like if we ever put piano in one of our songs, to be the guy playing it because he fucking plays
That's
the
sweet.
keyboard all the
That's
time
dope.
and I won't go near it. So
Yeah.
That's
Well,
dope.
like down, oh, fuck. What's our song? Down the Aisle. Fuck. Jesus Christ.
In the end, the aisle. Come
In
on,
the end
man.
of the aisle.
You
I
could just
can't
keep-
remember that song. Anyways,
On-
killing me.
On our latest EP, by the way. I just want to point that fucking fact out. Yeah.
that's how.
Go on. Go on.
We've talked about this, how we've never played any of these songs after the fact, which is the hardest thing. But that was one that my daughter's name, that he was like, oh, your daughter's name's in this. And then it kind of made me think, I'm like, oh shit, like he's going to be so mad if he doesn't get into one of these songs. But it was just like a
Ah,
perfect
yeah,
moment, right? I was just like,
yeah.
oh shit, this would be a good time to do it. Cause I was like, I don't know if I want to do it on guitar. Like, what do I actually was like, oh, I should do it. And I was like, nah, I don't know. So
He wants royalties now. So,
yeah, no shit. Eh?
yeah, he's going to fucking.
He gets our $3 from Spotify.
Yeah. Yeah. We get $3? Holy fuck.
288, I think the last time I
Okay.
checked.
Okay.
nice.
Yeah. You guys should be up there. Same thing. Should be around like $2 from. Oh, you guys would be way more than that. Have you
I
guys
don't know.
checked your royalties from?
I think we're like 30 bucks
No,
or
we're
something.
way more than that now. We're like 42.
42.
Sweet.
There you go. Fucking
Go.
right.
Fucking hey, buddy.
Almost a case of premium beer.
Yo, beers. I was going to say, beers on you, man. Next
No
time.
Yeah.
kidding. Hey, we talked about this before. You guys abandoned Bandcamp, right?
We never abandoned it. We were never there.
You were never there.
Never there.
Yeah.
My thoughts on Bandcamp, like I get the point of it and I
Yeah.
totally respect that. But the way I look at it, because of today's climate, the way things work, you know, with streaming and stuff like that. I feel like we're better off pushing our music to a point where it's constantly getting streamed and we can whatever one day make money doing that or not, whatever. But I feel like if we sell our album or whatever on Bandcamp, right? So that person buys it, we get like, it's a fucking EP. So we're going to make what, $3.99 off of it? Because I think that's what it would sell for on iTunes, I think.
Yeah, you get 85% back, right?
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
So like, you know, we sell it for $3.99 on Bandcamp or something like that, get 85% of that, like you said, like back. And it's like, so we've made nothing, but now that person has our music forever. And every time they listen to it, like we're never getting any more than that, whatever we get out of it
That's a
to
good point
do
to say,
something,
yeah.
right? And it's not even a matter of greed, but it is like, you know, like if we're trying to do something with this and trying to use it to get our name out there, well, that's not really helping us because they've given us less money than it costs for a large fucking latte, for Christ's sake. And no one will ever know that they're listening to our music ever, unless they record themselves listening to it.
My thing with all these other streaming platforms, like even like SoundCloud and stuff like that, I don't even like putting our music on YouTube, to be quite honest with you. But I understand why to do it. But I like looking on Spotify for artists because as far as I'm concerned, those are our streams. I don't look at Apple Music for artists. I don't want to keep track of all these individual streaming platforms. And that's just pure laziness on my part. But that's
I'm
why
the same way.
But that's why I don't care to do Bandcamp. Like I could give a fuck about the money. I mean,
yeah.
We're not going to make it.
Here's why I brought it up is because it's paid for our DistroKid distribution this year.
Oh, nice. Well,
Right.
that's good. I mean, okay. So you found a purpose for,
and that's why I brought it up because realistically, that's really what it's come down to is I was like, oh, I'll throw it on there and see what I said. Because Andrew was in the same boat. He's like, yeah, fuck dude. It's one other thing. What's the point? And I was like, okay, well, yeah. And I was like, you know what? It takes me 2 seconds to throw it on there. Who cares? Right. So people that we've had on we were on Fallen Angel Radio. She supported it. So I don't know. Like, I don't think she took, the music. She's not listening to it, right? Like you said, continuously. Right. For
she asked me the same thing. Once upon a time, are you on Bandcamp?
Yeah. So she was generous enough to throw more than what the album was worth, the EP, right? Which is super kind because I was like, fuck, I don't know you from the hole in the wall other than, we did an interview with her, but that was it. So it's just kind of interesting, right? That other avenue is there. I mean, obviously they pay so much better than anything else, but you're never going to make money, right? Like,
but I see your point. Like, it's a good way. Like if you're trying to earn a couple extra bucks because you need to upgrade your equipment or, or fund something or whatever, it's a good way to do that.
We were talking about it for merch actually is where we were heading eventually, but I don't know, man. It's
merch is fucking hard.
It is. Merch is murder, man. You murdered people.
Holy cow.
It's so expensive.
Yeah.
We've seen so many people do it and we're like, fuck, how do you make any money? Like you said, like, how do you make any money off this?
That's more research than I have fucking time for right now. Honest to God, like I've looked into it myself. I got like a potential thing going right now where it's like, it's probably not going to go anywhere and it's not going to produce very much either. But I've had people ask me, like, do you guys have merch? And like people who are like, they want to buy it. I'm like, well, that's great. And that's good. But like, I have to think in terms of like, so we're going to make up whatever it is, beanies, t-shirts, whatever, right? Make up X amount of these articles. And when you do an order, most places have a minimum and the minimum is probably more than you're going to sell, or at least in the beginning. It's just a lot of money.
No, you don't have to. No. There's a lot of news sites now that they fucking rip off the buyer. Like your fans get ripped off. You don't lose anything. So what they do is you give them a fucking logo and they put it on t-shirts and mugs and sweaters and fucking
whatever you want, right?
Panties, whatever you fucking want to put it on. And then they say, okay, this shirt is going to cost $10 for of your order. Shipping is going to be $8 of the order. So if you want to make any money, that's on you. So you could make a whole page of your logo on everything, It's called print to order. I think it's what it's called, print to order.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And so they print it. So the minute someone orders, they print it, and you pick the cost. So say it's like the shirts. I think they're more. I think shirts are like $13. Shipping's $8. So right now, if someone goes buys it, it's $21. If you want to make any money,
You got to charge 30.
you guys charge
Right.
30 something. So your fans are gonna spend $30
On a T-shirt.
for a
You
t-shirt.
know what? And fuck
You know?
that.
Yeah,
Right,
And
exactly.
and that is another thing that James and I spoke about before, where it was like, instead of committing and investing all this money or putting all this money out for merch, like I would much rather, I know James would too, like I'd much rather have like 5 shirts done and like do like giveaways,
Yes.
because again, like
Yes.
like we have jobs and careers, man. Like we don't give a fuck about making money. Now,
No.
if we make enough back to finance our next record, then whatever.
Then so be it.
That's
Have you guys thought about looking into grants? We just started.
oh no.
Never even crossed my mind. Didn't even know that was a
Okay.
thing.
So there's
Canada.
honestly, I'll send you guys the link that I just found for even Ontario, and there's some money to be had, and we're gonna try and jump on it, and I'd love to see you guys fucking grab some money from these, just from these organizations that are willing to put it out. But we're considering trying to do that in order to try and market a bit, right?
So like one of those, like you got to write them an essay to give a reason why they should
I
give
said
you
to
money.
Andrew- so funny enough, I'm in quarantine right now based on the job that I'm in because I have a close contact. So
Okay.
I've got a fucking 2 weeks of doing whatever, like realistically, a whole lot of nothing.
Right.
So
Shout out to your job.
Yeah.
I still got
Hook
a
me
plan.
up.
Well, I got a plan for my job, and then which is fine. I'll do that this weekend, and then I've got 4 days to kind of maybe do some work here and there. But realistically, I'm at home. I can't go anywhere, so I can't go anywhere until I think April 14th is the day I can actually leave my house,
Oh, wow.
which is sweet, I guess. If you want to be stuck at
you
home
better
for even
have
longer.
fucking like 5 songs done. and fucking better be ready. PS4 better be on the whole time.
Yeah,
just like a jump
exactly.
on. Yeah.
So I said to Andrew, I said that's going to be my job, is to try and figure out these grants, because there's money to be had. And I figured like any one of us, small independent band that's starting out, wanted, like you said, we have all day jobs. I don't want to take food off the table to try and fund this, right?
Yeah.
To an extent, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, we're not here to make thousands of billions of dollars. It's not going to happen.
There's a reasonable amount of money that you want to put into your craft that you're passionate about.
right.
But if it starts interfering with getting the bills paid or putting food on the
Right.
table, or no, we can't go on that family vacation this summer because I needed to finance this.
Yes, right.
then
the studio
it's-
time and whatnot.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
we're
you-
we're not fucking 19 years old or
No.
16 years old and just spending all our money on our music, right?
So,
Parents'
anyways,
money.
we're gonna look into it, and I'll pass it along to you. But
Yeah. Well, you got 2 weeks, so you figure it out.
I'll
and
figure
you
it
let-
out, and then I'll sign all of us up.
You let all of us
And,
know. You can have the email headed as fun fact. All you got to do is
Oh, fuck.
I know a lot of grants in any field. I know they want you to
I know.
really explain to them why they should give you
That's
money.
right.
And I get
That's-
that. I mean,
I get it too. Yeah, and then like how you're spending it. So I mean, there's certain, obviously, that's what I said. I got to look into it some more. But somebody's gonna give us money.
Marketing,
Fuck.
recording. Just fucking. That's like everything we did. We're gonna have to do it again, like recording, and so. Like I don't think I thought they used to, the grant was also for like performing and like traveling and shit. I think maybe that's what you get like a $10,000
is.
grant for that shit, right? Like something big
Yeah.
and huge.
I know,
But
it's
we're not, obviously we can't travel, so their grants gonna be less. But like if it's like I said, if it's like $2,000, we could either do a couple of things, but at least half that's gonna go into PR. I think we're gonna do we can only go so far with working full-time jobs and to get us
Twitter and
out
IG
there.
and that, yeah.
Let someone else, a reputable company, which we have to then
That's the
filter
other ball
out.
game, right? Is figure out who's
Um,
legitimate, eh? Like that's the one thing out there. And I mean, like I know James, you're out there all the time on Twitter, right? Following, and you're doing man, you're active. I am, but I'm not right? I'm nowhere near.
Well, Joe from Limbocast did call me the hardest working.
Dude, I saw that. I saw that post. Yeah, the hardest. Yeah, it's true.
And then typical
Yeah.
James takes all the credit for all the work when really he just fucking types on Twitter and I do actually all the work. But yeah, fuck you, James.
Yeah, exactly. We know, Jay, you're behind that. But yeah, like it's true.
Love
It's like
you.
we all have
Love you.
We've all got day jobs, right? So it would be nice if someone else kind of did some of that for you, or at least you knew that it was legitimate. Because that's the other thing too, is trying to find legitimate sources. Because there's a lot of bullshitters out there, tons of them.
So much bullshit out there.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Yeah.
been times where someone would email the band, which James looks after the email address for the band, and before he even sends it, or if he does send it over to me, he's like, "So this is bullshit, but I'm just sending it to
Send it over
you."
so you know. Have you been contacted by Eric Alder yet?
Eric Alper? Yes.
Alper, yeah, Alper,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have. Yes, we
Yeah,
have.
that was one of the ones where Andrew like,
Um,
really? Yeah,
Super legit.
it is, but
He's a big deal. You know, he's
but a
got
lot of
fucking,
money.
he's got his own fucking Wikipedia page. He's got a show on Sirius XM. But like $500 a month, bro.
I know.
Really?
Yeah,
like-
when Andrew was like, "Oh, $500," I'm like, "Yeah, no, a month, buddy." Like, that's-
Yeah.
We were down with the aspect of and getting on Sirius XM. Like Sirius XM, I have come to learn, is a pay to play kind of scenario. It's not really put out there in the universe, but it's kind of like unwritten, understood, that sort of thing. Which is, I don't know. You make enough noise, nobody can really ignore you. So let me put it to you that way. But at the same time, they really want that to be funded. So we were really interested in that aspect, but it was a total package deal. And even though it probably, or at least had a really good chance of doing something good for us, it's 500 fucking bucks a month.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
And
if we were a
you know damn well he's not going to get everything done. And I'm not saying this as a negative towards him.
No, but
you know
it's a
that
business.
you know that it's not going to happen in the first month, because if that
That's
was
right.
the case, it would be like, hey, I'm going to charge you $800 flat
Yeah.
rate, and I'm going
Yeah,
to do all
yeah.
this for you, and then whenever it dies, it dies.
Well, and
Yeah.
it's not like having a band manager either. Like a band manager is like, they manage you and what, maybe one or two other bands or something. So
Yeah, I think
they
the
pay
only
attention
thing,
to you.
like the things that stuck out to us about him was the obvious exposure,
Mhm.
and getting these songs out to Sirius XM and all that kind of stuff. That's all great. I didn't care about the interviews from random people because they don't give a shit about us.
And who's gonna watch them, right?
Well,
realistically?
you know what though? Like, let's say that people did. Like, let's say that we gained 100 followers a month,
Mhm.
right? Like, the person interviewing us is not like, they could give a shit about us,
That's a good point.
and there's
Yeah,
no
they're just
way
doing
I'm
it because
paying.
it's their job to do it.
So that renders us paying for someone to interview us for the sake of interviewing us, hoping that something's going to come out of it. When that person interviewing us does not
Has-
care
No,
No.
they're just
know,
getting paid for the.
there's
interview.
a
Right.
certain integrity that you kind of lose,
Yeah.
allowing yourself to do that. I
So
don't
not
know.
only do you lose that integrity, but you're also losing that $500 a month out of your wallet.
Exactly.
You're paying to
shit.
lose your integrity.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We're
Oh,
like,
man.
we're all in a very interesting position right now on this indie scene where fucking everybody who wants to interview us legitimately wants to interview us.
right.
They like
right.
our music.
Yes.
They want to know more about us, how we made decisions here and there,
And
whatever.
again, that's not taking anything away from Eric Alper.
No,
I mean,
fuck no.
he's
not at all.
clearly like super legit, and we appreciate the fact
Oh,
that
that's what I
he-
mean. Like that was the one. It's the only guy that I think that we've seen that I'm like was a legitimate source. Where I was like, hey, you know what? That would be a legitimate one, but at $500 a month, like Andrew and I were saying, it would be more advantageous if somebody could be like, listen, you give me $100, I'll show you what I can do. Right? Kind of like that
Right.
flat.
That
flat
sounds
fee.
sexual. That sounds sexual.
Yeah.
I'll see what I
Right?
could do for $100.
But like, it's
Keep
like
talking.
like show us what you can do for us, and then we'll go ahead with some sort of commitment, I guess. Right?
Yeah. I
Um,
guess that what I keep thinking about this whole time is like, stop asking artists to pay you
I know.
to promote their music. If you fucking like a band and you
Then
believe in what
promote it.
they're doing enough, then just promote it. You know,
Yeah.
I like, and I get like the big things, like the Eric Alper stuff. Like I get that. That guy has connections that
Yeah.
are worth money. I get that. But when you're some dipshit with 52 followers and you have the balls to ask a band to pay you $20 for 3 Twitter shout outs,
we definitely
fuck your brain. Like
yeah,
seriously.
we definitely got
Fuck your brain.
yeah, we definitely got a hey, you know, for $400 I will put you on a on a Sirius XM fan page. Well, like whoop de fuck, man. We don't give a shit. You know what I mean? We're also not giving you our money. Like
No, exactly.
Put us on that page for sure for free
Yeah.
because you
yeah.
fucking like our music. Don't ask us to give you money, you
No.
know, because
we're musicians. We don't have any.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's right.
We're indie
Maybe-
musicians. We don't have
Maybe
that
people
money.
people forget that normally indie musicians, especially, would be broke unless you have a day job. So
You know what? You know what
Yeah.
sucks though? Like everything is smoke and mirrors, man, and everything's smoke and mirrors to the point where it's like you said, this guy could interview who doesn't give a fuck about your band at all. And he's getting paid to interview you, but that would get maybe more ears than if someone who gave a shit about your music threw you on their,
Oh,
radio
that's totally
show or whatever.
possible.
And
Yeah.
so it's all fucking just like this big game of
It's-
bullshit.
It's
and
the same with the guy who pays that other guy all the money
right.
to
Yeah.
do the Sirius XM page
Yeah,
or the
yeah,
Facebook
yeah.
page or whatever. That actually might get them somewhere. It's just I don't know.
Just
I
not
don't
willing
want
to
to
do it.
fucking go
We're
that
just
way.
not, yeah, we're just
No.
not willing to do it. And
Yeah.
if we have to pay for fans, then
Yeah.
we're out.
yeah,
That's
well,
the
that's what we
thing.
said.
I-
That's what
and,
Andrew
and that's the
said,
thing
yeah.
is if you pay that money to somebody to do that and you make it good because you
Good.
fucking damn well should have for that money.
Yeah.
You
Right.
really should
Well,
have.
fuck,
Yeah.
right.
I
when you're
just
looking
don't
at
feel like
6
you should
grand-
have to.
$6,000 a year. You better hope you did something.
Yeah,
with
you
it.
better get something out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the biggest
Yeah.
thing too, though, we go back to, and I said to Andrew all the time, and you guys, I'm sure, will agree with it, is that without being able to play a live show
Mhm.
is huge right now. You know,
Big time.
without
time.
being able to open for someone that has a bit of a following and then maybe gain some of their fans live, right? Because I truly believe you play live and people, and I mean, Jay, you said it, right? You look at Cleopatra, you said like the front man is captive. Like you even said, you didn't want to use the word, but you see these bands live and you're like, shit, they've gained a new fan. And I think that's
Mhm.
huge. I really do. I
Yeah.
really
There's
do.
bands that I straight up didn't like, and I'd see them live because they were opening up for a band that I was there to see,
Hands
and
down.
it
Yeah.
totally turned me, man.
And
It
that
was-
works both ways because that's the thing about live. Live can make or break you.
That's why we don't
because-
do it.
I on the opposite end, like I share the same sentiment as you, but on the flip side, I've had it happen the opposite way. I've seen bands that I was really stoked
Uh-oh.
on.
He was so
You
stoked.
know, big time
Oh,
fans.
there
but
we go.
still, like if
You
I'm listening
froze.
to
You
them,
froze. Oh,
That
Oh, did I
fucking,
fro- freeze?
That fucking
Yeah.
Wasega internet, man.
that's
you're
what
back.
it
You're
is.
back. You're back. You're
Okay, so I've seen bands that I was super stoked on,
James, where'd you go? No, we're just joking. You're still there.
back.
and they had a terrible live presence, and it kind of ruined the whole, the whole atmosphere for me.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, again, same thing. I like to think it's more times than often you go to a live show, and you become more engaged with that band just from watching them live. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. There's a band in Hamilton called Marble Index. I don't know if anybody's familiar with them.
Oh, Marble Index, yeah.
And I saw them in Toronto, opening for the Trues, and I'll never forget the line. It's like, "This song is gonna melt your face off." Every single time the guy was on, he would, and like the show was unbelievable. And then the other one was The Waking Eyes, was another one that I saw here in London, and same thing. Like
Wow.
I wouldn't known who
I
they
haven't heard
were.
that name in years.
Right, and I saw them live, and I was like, man, these guys were good. And then they fell off the face of the earth as well.
See, and that's just it. And this kind of goes back to what I was talking about before. Those guys were Edge 102 bands back in like the mid 2000s.
That's true. They were.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They had a couple really big hits. They were on the radio all the time. You were like, yeah, I fucking know who Marble Index is. I know who the Waking Eyes are. And then like 2 years later, you're like, hey, what the fuck ever happened to that
Whatever
band?
happened to them? Yeah.
Mobile or Mobile?
Ah,
Yeah.
no,
right?
Mobile. Yeah.
Montreal?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
happened to them?
Montreal.
Where are they at?
Yeah.
They're poutine,
Gone.
man.
Right? They're
Yeah, that's
and I'm
it.
sure they're still out there making music. It's
They're
just that's what I
poutine.
mean. Like that's the
I don't
that's
know,
the
I
market
don't-
they got into.
Yeah. Hey, I
Yeah,
have a
it's
question
true.
for you. I have a question for you guys about you guys just brought up a huge point that I'm very curious. When we were like 16, 17, fucking 18, like we cram into fucking, venues and watch bands. But like, is that like a lost art, man? Because look at the kids now. Do you think like 16-year-olds now are there any venues left for kids to go and watch a band play or I'm sorry, not to mention, no, I'm not talking about just like big acts. I'm not talking about like
You're talking about like
I'm talking about like your buddy's band. You want to go see them at the fucking like? Can they do that?
Oh, I know what you're. Yeah,
Does anybody have an
I
interest
don't
in that
know.
anymore?
Honestly, I mean, they're,
back in
they're
Collingwood, I had a couple buddies who were putting on a festival. I think they did it 2 or 3 summers in a row, and they had just a weekend of bands.
Mhm.
And yeah, but
but there's not a lot
that
of
was a while ago, man, and that just
bars, though, right?
stopped. No,
Yeah.
man.
not a lot. Like there was a place in, like you mentioned, Collingwood. There was a place in Collingwood. Jay, you might be able to help me with this if you remember. It was right on like First Street as you're coming in.
Casbah.
Yes, thank you. I knew you'd
Yeah.
know it. Casbah. They were there for a short time, and like they were the kind of like the place to go for a couple of years to hear, like
Up and
punk
coming.
bands, rock bands, metal bands, and then I don't know, man. They just fucking dried up, went away.
Yeah, but like I just think that like A, there's not enough rock out there for kids to listen to, and B, the music they do like is like that TikTok shit that like that's
yeah.
made for them
Yeah,
to like
it's just a different
well,
scene. It seems
yeah,
like
yeah,
it
and-
seems like the like back when we were kids, like all those people just came to this point with like they just followed, like the whole era came with the people,
yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it
it
does
You know
make
what I
sense. Yeah, yeah.
It did.
Where
it doesn't make sense for anyone listening that's younger right now.
like
No,
I know
we
for
can-
sure that there's
Yeah, I know what you're saying though.
16, 17-year-olds are not looking to go to a show.
No,
For
and,
sure.
and then so that as they get older, unless the music scene changes, like, but I'm talking about the top 40 music scenes right now. It's all just like it's all just like programmed fluff, right?
Mhm.
Well,
Well, don't kid yourself. It was that back then too.
right, okay, right.
It's
but,
true.
but like there's not like a real instrument on any song like at all right now. It's like
No,
so-
that's true.
and
I'll
the
give you
kids,
that.
the kids grow up are like I can't imagine they're going to like any other friends could be like if they were in a band, they're gonna come see me in where there's nowhere to go, and I don't think the interest will be there. And so it'll be interesting to see in like 15, 20 years what these kids are doing musically, because this is their influence right now.
That is interesting. That's a
Wow.
really good point. It's really interesting. And to Jay's point too, like you were saying, like 16-year-olds and that age group. I mean, yeah, we can't speak for everybody, but it doesn't really seem like that's a scene that's happening. Like even like 2019, like before fucking COVID and all that, like it didn't really seem like a big scene. I mean, mostly
People
because
seem
like
to give a fuck.
I don't see it around here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know like you guys in London, like there should primarily be I vaguely know the Barrie scene and stuff like that, but even those venues and stuff that we used to play when I was younger, like they're starting to dry up or have dried up.
Yeah.
London was a bit of a hot spot for rock bands back in
They
the
were,
days
yeah,
as
Of course
well.
they- yeah.
I feel
But,
like
like-
I feel like it still is, but to our point
Yeah.
earlier, it's just like the age has followed the era,
You're right, because I would say that honestly, like when I go to a show of what I'm wanting, like I'm gonna throw it out. I'm gonna throw it onto your podcast, Matt
Holy
Mays.
fuck.
You
Matt
knew it was
Mays.
coming. It only took an
Yeah.
hour, right, or so, 2 hours.
You gotta get a tattoo. on Matt
I
Mays
should
tattoo.
get a tattoo.
You just
Actually,
point
he's
at
up
it.
on my wall, man. I kid you not, he is up on the wall. But to be honest, though, like when I look around and look at it's all the same age group. It's who I am. But then the last show I was at, like the last legitimate show I was at before COVID hit, there were university students there. So I was like, oh, fuck, maybe they are like, maybe it takes a little bit longer. Like, I don't know. Like I think of, so going to a venue, Ketabala, that would be a
Best.
venue that I would
Mitchell
die
every
to
year.
play. Right?
Oh, so this is where I get to crush you.
Uh-oh.
I've played at the Key to Bella.
Fuck you.
Yeah, it was, and that's probably my favorite place I've ever
Oh,
played.
it would be have you ever been, Andrew, or no? When you're
No.
like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking
No,
about,
I
dude.
have no, I don't know what you're talking about. at
All right, well, guess
No.
what?
It's
We're
the
gonna have
worst.
to.
It's the
I'm from
worst
Toronto.
sounding venue ever.
Of course it is. Absolutely, it is, hands down.
But
yeah.
No, we've got one in London that's worse. It's
Oh,
called
yeah?
Centennial Hall.
Centennial. Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
built
Centennial's pretty
as
bad.
it was legitimately built for concerts, and it was built ass backwards. Like
Yeah.
it's unbelievable.
Oh, and I went to see like me and my old man would go see Kim Mitchell at the Key every year.
Yeah.
And got to meet him one year too. It was pretty sweet. I walked in, I was like, oh, this is gonna sound not good. And I was explaining to my dad like why. And it's like it's so wide,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Like
the
you
problem.
like the stage should be on
It's backwards
it's
right?
backwards.
well, it's
Yeah.
sideways.
or sideways.
Sideways,
Yeah,
yeah.
like the wall in front of you is not that far away in
No.
retrospect, but when you look at the sidewalls,
Side
you're
you're
like,
Yeah.
way out.
holy
the
fuck.
stage is way too high.
If the
Oh
stage
my
was where the
fucking-
bar is,
The
that
stage
would
has got to
be.
be 8 feet high.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. You're like looking.
But that's what's cool about it. See, that's what I
It
was going to
is
say that
true.
I love about it is like that stage. I feel like that's where I learned how to be a frontman at the time. Was I had so much room to move, to to do my thing or whatever. I don't know, and it just, we were so high up above everybody. It just felt like a legit, like, this is a fucking stage right here,
Imagine if you had a good band behind you playing.
right? Would have been even better.
But
yeah, that didn't happen.
that was the first venue that I've ever been at that had like a full on balcony, right?
Yeah.
You could go up,
Right,
and then
right.
we
And
had,
that was your only chance. Like that balcony was your only chance of getting decent sound.
It's true.
Like as
It's true.
as an audience member.
Luckily enough though, like for the audience, like most people that I would see when they called into our show when I played there,
went
they
to the floor.
they all
they
went up to the balcony. It was like they
Smart.
already knew. It's like they
Yeah.
already knew. It's like, no, this is where you got to get. Then there was hardly anybody. Like, not, it's like there was a lot of people on the floor, but like,
Always
you could
getting
see
into
all,
fights.
you could see all the gaps. Yeah, the fights. That's funny because there actually was a fight going on in the corner. I almost forgot the lines to one of my songs because I was like literally going and I'm looking over and I literally saw one guy just go like that, and the one guy went down like a brick, and it was just kind of like I had to stop from going like, oh, like that, right? But
Yeah.
still, it's a classic venue. It's
Oh, it's so
legendary.
Oh,
Like
it is
it's one of those things. It's like a Horseshoe Tavern in Toronto.
in Toronto. Yeah.
I
I played the horseshoe.
You,
Oh, did you?
played the
Yeah,
horseshoe?
yeah, I played the horseshoe.
See, and I've never played the Horseshoe, but it's such a fucking hole in the wall, right?
It is. It
It's the
is.
best.
Like
It's the
I
best.
saw,
It is.
I saw it was a Theory of a Dead Man show, but 3 Days Grace was the opening band. This was before they released their first album. So I was a fucking 3 Days Grace hipster. It was awesome. I literally remember sitting on the table with my feet on the chair and like the pipes were dripping like on my shoulder. That's how ghetto it was, but it was the best. It was like one of the best shows I ever saw. Acoustically, it was great. The beer was cold. So I
Yeah,
was
and
fine.
Yeah, it's
and
all
they
that
work.
matters.
They work on. They know it's such a high. Like they want. Everyone wants to play the horseshoe in Toronto, right? So
Yeah.
they have you come out on a Monday, then they invite you back out on a Wednesday. Like they make you work your way up. Like it depends on like what if they like you and what you bring to the venue on a Monday night, right? And we got invited back, but the band broke up before we had a chance to play it again. But I played on Monday nights.
Nice.
We got like 80 people in there. It was but it was fucking fantastic. Like just
80,
like
80
knowing
people is a fucking
on a-
capacity crowd in that
and
place.
the Monday night. So it was, and then thinking like the Rolling Stones played there and shit, right? Like you're like,
Yeah.
this is crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, it's cool. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've played the El Macombo in Toronto, and that's another spot that the Stones played.
Yeah, yeah.
So like that's probably the old, like when you're talking about the Stones, like say what you will about the Stones. I mean, they're not so relevant to what we're doing today.
No,
although we
but-
probably wouldn't be doing what we're doing today if it wasn't for them.
That's exactly it.
It was really cool standing on a stage performing and thinking in your head, you're like, fuck, Mick Jagger was right here doing the
Yeah.
same thing, looking out
Yeah.
in the same area. It's just like one of those things. Right?
Bonkers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where else do you play
Really
in
cool.
Toronto? Where else have you, Jay? Have you played in Toronto?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Beach
Reverb.
Palace,
Opera
Reverb.
House.
Yeah, Reverb.
Opera House. Yeah, yeah. Sneaky D's.
Did you ever?
Yep, I did
Sneaky
actually.
D's upstairs. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I did. So that was actually the last live performance I played. And that wasn't my own band. I was filling in for a band that I had produced, a hardcore band. I had produced one of their records, and I knew them all. And they asked me if I could fill in for guitar for a few shows, and I was like, yeah,
Nice.
for sure. And yeah, first and last time I played there. It was awesome spot.
My
Yeah,
my
I got
last
this, yeah.
show was at the Docks. When it
yeah?
was still the Docks.
Is
So
it
that
still the
tells you how-
Sound Academy?
I heard it changed to
No,
something
is it?
else.
Yeah, it's like the Phoenix, not the Phoenix. Not the
No,
Phoenix.
that's something
Phoenix
else.
was-
That's something
Phoenix
else.
was like
Yeah.
London.
That's not. Yeah, no, that's in
There was a
Burlington.
Phoenix in Toronto or Burlington. Yeah.
Yes.
Phoenix
yes.
Concert Hall? That's in Toronto.
Is
Yeah.
it? What am I
it is.
thinking? Oh, I'm
in
thinking of the
Toronto.
Kingdom.
No, see, I was right.
Yeah.
I was like, holy fuck. I was like, is it? I was trying to Google it while you guys
Phoenix
are talking.
was
I'm
in
like, what?
Toronto.
So fucking long ago, all that shit was.
Yeah.
That's
Because
why.
they tried to bring
know
the Phoenix,
because
they
I
tried to bring
saw-
the Phoenix to London. It didn't work. It
I
didn't
saw
work.
Cradle of Filth there before Phoenix, and
Nice.
everyone was like in like makeup, and I was in a plaid shirt, much like what you're wearing, and my glasses and tucked in undershirt, and I was like, rock and roll.
I wore a yellow Old Navy T-shirt to a Metallica concert.
Yes, you
once.
did.
Yes, I fucking did.
Yes, you
And
did.
it was the only reason was because it was the only shirt I had clean. And
Clearly,
the Metallica shirt that I was gonna wear. I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like, I'll just do the sniff test. Yeah, no,
No, didn't even pass that, eh?
no,
Even-
not by. It's like, nope, this can't happen. And I probably slopped like fucking mustard or some shit on it too.
that's probably why it was yellow. Anyway, listen, boys. I'm going the fuck to bed. So it was
All
it
right,
was
pleasure, eh? Pleasure,
it was awesome having you guys on. Really
Oh,
appreciate
this is
it.
great, man. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
And
This is really good.
yeah, maybe in a couple more months we can do this again. And
Fucking A. I hope you do that. Like, let us know about the acoustic shit.
I
too,
honestly
man.
will, man. I'm itching to do it. I have a lot of space here at the house, inside and outside. So I'm just looking at doing a bit of a gear upgrade for that. I'll keep you guys.
It feels like a whatever short-term, long-term, whatever goal that we kind of have is like we need to get the fucking four of us in the same spot.
That'd be
Well,
sweet.
and so yeah, so one thing just worth mentioning quick is I'm building some studio space in my basement, and part of that space is going to be like a podcast studio as well. So would
Dope.
love to have you guys like up for a weekend, bring the wives, do whatever, COVID pending obviously,
no
Right.
shit.
but
eh?
but yeah, for sure. I mean, barbecue, bonfire, beers, that's what
Dope.
summer's about up here, right? So
already there, already in.
yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah,
Exactly.
we'll keep each other posted. And
Nathan and I can serenade everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fucking better.
Absolutely.
Um, we should do a joint podcast that's just called Chasing 12 Years.
chasing
love
12
it.
years, fun
Love it.
facts.
Chasing 12 years.
Chasing 12 years. 12 years.
Chasing fun
records.
facts.
Oh, I
12 chasing fun facts.
Or chasing fun facts or 12 fun facts, whichever one you want to do.
Holy fuck.
It just we can't end it with records because we don't want somebody to think
No.
we're
We're a
label,
record label.
God
That's right,
forbid.
Exactly.
God forbid.
right?
Anyways, okay, boys.
All right,
Well,
boys.
thanks
All
again.
right. Hey,
And,
thanks,
uh,
guys.
yeah,
we really
we'll talk
to you
appreciate it.
soon.
It's awesome. Yeah.
All right,
boys.
Guys.
See you
All
guys.
right,
See ya.
peace out.